have it, so that's okay. But look where Meta's bouncing again off of some key levels. So you know what? The market's a funny thing here, and unless you're trading earnings names, which Meta's going to be tomorrow, try to judge what's happening in the market. The trend is always forever going to be your friend, and trade with the Fed, trade with the trend, and you should be okay.
All right. Before we send it off, let's get an earnings prediction, Sean. Meta,
higher.
Hit or miss?
Hit.
Hit. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
We're gonna go bang.
What's your call?
I'm gonna go hit.
I only say that because I don't think Google was that bad.
No.
Google's going to be up today, is going to hopefully end the day up.
Hopefully.
Positive. Microsoft's up 7 or 8% there. And I just think some of the metrics that make sense there for Meta there, I think that they're going to hit on daily active users. I think that they're going to hit on the advertising number. And I don't know if they're forecasting anymore. That would be the only problem.
Yeah, what did they say last time? Are they forecasting? I remember someone was saying they're not going to forecast anymore. We'll see.
Thing is, even if they miss, though, they have that 200. If we take down 200, then it's a big worry for me, and it'll be on the short side of the sticky note tomorrow. It's 2:02. We are now over time.
All right, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Breno's at the big desk.
Hey, guys. Yeah, welcome in. 2 o'clock. Couple hours left on a pretty mixed afternoon here. All about tech, all about the NASDAQ currently as we head towards the close on a Wednesday. Just be aware there's more lucid Saudi circulating or speculation circulating right now. That note that came out a little bit earlier talking a little bit about the possibility of them taking over. So they have appointed the chair of the board already to take over the Lucid board anyway. So more Saudi speculation just coming up here for Lucid back to the upside currently. That's how the overall market's shaping up, though. 0.25% right now for the S&P. The Dow, 0.41, 0.86 for the NASDAQ. Basically flat here in Toronto so far, 0.01 downside for the TSX. Negative day there for crude oil, as we said. Yeah, nice. 6.2% right now for Bitcoin, 4.6. We finally got some participation from Ethereum. Initially, the move was in Bitcoin, and then it came back down. So it was all about Bitcoin, but Ethereum trying to pop up here and help out a little bit. Bit of a mixed board, as I said. 0.25 there to the downside for the overall market, but all about some individual movers, really offsetting individual movers, typical for an earnings day. What if I zoom in a little bit here so you can see the actual names? There we go. FRC standing out, obviously 22.5% still downside. There are a few notable names actually in the individual banking group that are helping to offset that weakness, though. 1.5%, namely for KeyBank, TFC, CMA, PNC, all to name a few, all in positive territory overall, though. Banks are lower. Semiconductors are lower, but all because of that one. ENPH, ugly earnings from them. Same story for SEDG, so the clean energy semiconductor-related names under significant pressure here this afternoon. Elsewhere, Micron, AMD, NVIDIA, all trying desperately to offset that, but failing miserably, let's be honest right now. FSLR, notably weak there as well, 4.7 to the downside. Some positive names in healthcare right now. We also have some positive names in the consumer discretionary group. CMG, almost 14% still off of better than expected earnings. Domino's, 2.4% to the upside as well. DRI, 1.4 to the upside. There's Activision still chopping around that 11.25 mark. So pretty mixed, to say the least. 0.2 downside right now. LUNR, I'll double check on that, but something called LUNR just popping up again. Lucid trying to go once again. I'll move this over. So the initial move there was higher. We do go back up to 740, and then it fails miserably back to the downside, looking like it's going to make a low, but still 7.25% again. I mean, it looked like from first glance anyways, they were just circulating the same note from earlier. Again, speculation, guys, of some Saudi interest once again in Lucid.
Is that your... Sean just sat down, like right when Brendan finishes, Sean sits back down with like
it happened early. I was going to say the
deliciously smelling coffee.
You beat me to it.
And I'm like, what the hell? And
I was going to say something about how long is it going to take Neil to say something about this, and
like that.
It's still from the morning, but it's in those.
It's the hazelnut, man.
It's the hazelnut that gets you every
Now,
time.
shoot, I was gonna say something else, but then I smell good smelling food or drink, and then that's where my mind goes.
Why wasn't my thing listening to Brendan there?
Intuitive. What's that? Lunar. LUNR. It's intuitive something. This is where I'm messing up. It's intuitive machines. That's what they are. Intuitive machines is what Brendan was just mentioning. So I want to get to that very quickly because it just kind of wicked $10. Big level, $10. This is 10 here. This is it wicking 10. So might be a bit of a pullback. Up 35%. This is a strong name. This is a boomer to the upside. I'm only short because you saw I was shorting into the 13,000 level on a few names, and we've kind of pulled back from there. Maybe we get a bounce off the bottom, but this is a strong name for this afternoon. If it can hold consolidation, maybe make another run at that $10 level, it still has some room, as you can see. This was at 14 bucks. What was that? Just a week ago. So definitely some room. It's the first day of a bounce for intuitive machines. I had to look over to make sure I got it right because that's not intuitive at all.
It's not intuitive, I was going to say.
LUNR? That doesn't even make any damn sense, man. Get a better ticker. Come on, son.
Yeah, come on, man. Get a better ticker.
It's terrible.
Get like Coinbase. Like, just get Coin.
It's not that hard.
Just get Coin.
It's not that hard.
Or like if your name is Meta, just grab Meta. If your name is AMD.
Don't you think that Meta's a really dumb name for can they switch back or something?
Facebook?
Do you like the Meta name?
I like Meta better than Facebook.
Where do they make their money?
Instagram?
It's not in the metaverse. Like all that cash they're printing, it ain't the metaverse.
No,
I'm
it's a
just
cooler.
saying.
I think Meta's a cooler name. I don't know.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, I get it.
All right.
Okay. What does it say? I have no positions. Well, I do have a position. I do have AMD on right now. Other than that, man, Shopify, Amazon, Shopify moving around here as well. Meta, we just talked about that. Meta's back up to 211.09 right now. This is the name that's going to be talked about a lot, obviously, here into the close. As we get some earnings plays coming through tomorrow, Meta just bouncing right now off 210.70. So that's going to be a level of concern right there because we bounced off there twice, right there in the midday and then right here again right now as we head into the close. So Meta down here at 210.50. You take that level out on Meta and it could be problems happening for this name. That's why I was short. Like, it sucks that we got blown out right there, but we've been short this name. We're able to take some profit, but then our net negative, we are net negative on Meta today, right now into that level of 211.75 is where we got out. It hit the 50 period. Sorry, that's not the 50 period. It hit the VWAP right there and then retraced back down. I do have I know Shreef's over there, but we got to install the new version over there on that software because.
I wrote myself a note to do it tomorrow morning.
Oh, good. Let's show the sign.
It says update P Pro 8, and I'm just going to leave it at my desk so that over there it's on the new version. It's also cold in here. I got to put a sweater on.
Yeah, it is getting cooler right now. All right, Brendo, let's go over something else, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, let's talk about what we were discussing if you joined us early on this morning back in the pre-market. It feels like a long time ago, but it actually wasn't. The first thing, top of the list this morning was Microsoft still holding up really nicely. What a day for Microsoft. I mean, let's be honest, the market's kind of choppy here so far today. Microsoft's still holding up better part of 7%. It was up more than 8% to kick things off. Yeah, AI, all the rage in this earnings report, talking about what is to come as far as sales are concerned, cloud beating everything, topping estimates. For Softy, we didn't. I was wondering if it was going to get there, but we didn't quite tag 300 this morning.
Close though, Brenda. We got to 299.57. Come to my chart because, look at this. This is the 5 a.m. start right here. Look how range bound we have been. Usually you see some sort of decided break, high side or low side between that 5, 6 a.m. range. Not so much here, Brendo. Very, very range bound ever since that pop.
Yeah, it was almost like a price adjustment. We gap up, obviously, after the report, and then nothing but sideways action here for Softy today, guys.
As well, that's stupid VWAP probably.
No, it's just, Sharif, this is going to, I guess, is that trading view? What are you using up there? What chart was that? Because when Sharif goes over the bars, like a line shows up, a wavy line. I'm like, what is that that's showing up there? But Softy, okay, so Softy was a great long. Sean's going to get to talk about that. I have my offer here for no good reason, because quite frankly, we're not going to get the 300 short. I was ready to start getting short. I thought once 50 broke, how many times have we said, you're not coming this far not to get to the level? So the second 299.50 broke, I'm like, we're getting it. I'm getting it. I'm not going to move my order. I'm starting in at 75. I'm shorting into 300. I'm allowing it to break 300, give it 50 points, and then it never happened. It felt like it was going to. We had a couple of other names that we got up top there, but it just Softy wasn't one, so now I should obviously cancel it. Look, we know it's a great quarter, yada, yada, yada. It's holding it up as well. It's double tap 300. I will not be surprised one iota. Oh, daily chart, seriously. Anyways, I will not be surprised one iota if we come in tomorrow and we have a chance to be filling the gap back in as there's some profit taking. Double tap of 300. Can the 94 withstand a double tap? Maybe we'll find that out in the afternoon. That's the level to play off of, but I no longer think I'm getting 300. The chances in 2 hours that we get right back up to the top feel a little bit slim because the market's right at that 12.9. It almost like it has to get back to the highs. But you can't argue with 7%. Not when Meta on my brain, even though it's a terrible ticker name. Google's dead flat. That's what I'm getting at. And Microsoft is going to hold up 7%. You don't mind
the ticker Meta. You just don't like the name.
Oh, you're right. No, the ticker's fine because it's the actual name.
Right.
It's the name of the company I don't like.
Right. You like international business machines?
Do you know why I like that? Because there's a scene in that
Jeopardy?
No, it's a Seth Rogen one where it's Seth Rogen and I forget the other guy's name where they're selling arms or whatnot.
Oh, right.
Is it War Dogs? Something like that?
No, it's not War Dogs. The Interview.
No, it's not that one. It's a different one. They basically
Maybe it is War
they're
Dogs,
fulfilling like munitions contracts or whatever in this bidding nonsense.
But it's a funny movie?
There's a boardroom scene where the guy just he makes up. Essentially, I'm getting the guy wrong. It's not Seth Rogen.
I have
it's
the
guy.
wrong shadow.
It's Lord of No, it's War Dogs.
It is War Dogs. Okay.
But essentially, that he comes up with a ridiculous name for the company, and it's like just an acronym. And some guy's like, what does it mean? What does it stand for?
Right.
And he's like, what does IBM stand for something? Come on. And some guy's like, yo, it's International Business Machines.
Right.
And he's like, get the F out. Get out of my, you're fired. He just kicks him out right in that moment. It's stealing from Boiler Room, quite frankly, but that's okay.
It's a good line. It's a good.
And it was Jonah Hill.
Yeah, Jonah
I might have
Hill,
said Seth Rogen because I think of him.
You did
but
say
it was,
Seth. I was going to say Jonah Hill.
It was Jonah Hill.
He's with that other guy, and I'm like, those guys are always together. So
that movie is jokes, by the way. There's this scene where he goes to buy.
I'll have to watch
he goes
it
to
again.
buy weed, and they try to rip him off. And obviously the guy rolls because they sell arms. He comes out with like I don't know some like M16 or something.
Yes. I know the movie.
It's a great movie.
It is a great movie. It's actually really.
You guys
got to
watch that. If you haven't
most
seen
people
it.
probably have watched that. Do we have a Streamlabs going now? People are starting to bet. I don't know what we're doing.
The bet is will Google be green or red? It's dead flat right now.
Really?
Google is literally no. I mean
bet.
it's exactly.
You just push bet.
Come to my chart for a quick second.
I'm gonna bet
Google is
150.
exactly flat.
Green.
It's the perfect bet for 2
Is that
o'clock,
all I have
right?
to do?
I think it's.
I bet 150
It's
green.
just green or red. That's all you have to do.
Okay. I red 10. I bet red 10. I don't know how to do it. Hopefully I did it right.
No, you did it right.
I bet 100 red. Yeah, okay, good. That's what I did.
Or is it above? No,
I
it's
bet
green. Or
green.
red. It's green or red.
Reverse, points last. Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, I'll figure it out later. All right, so right here, Microsoft, this stupid Streamlabs. But it's been a lot of fun. Right there, 293. We waited for Microsoft early, man. Here's the move down. We're going to do this tomorrow with Meta as well. We're going to do this with every single stock that I ever see that comes out from earnings. We're going to wait for it to go down. We're going to wait for the move. We're going to have a bias which way. Our bias was long today on Microsoft. It's the #1 name on the sticky note going long at 295. So when it dipped down right there, it stopped at 293. So we went long at 293.75, giving ourselves that 75-cent move to the bottom. So we take it out right there. That's $1. So our first move is $1. Then it comes, I'm letting it run at this point. Then it comes back in and we take that, basically that fill again down there at 294. Then it rips up. That fill right there is 295.43. Unfortunately, we have these dip down. So we're taking $1 there, $1.50 there. Then when it breaks back that 50 period, we get out, which really does suck because there's that push to 299. So a little bit of a quick out there on Microsoft. But anyways, it's a good little level there for Softy, up at 300. Both of us should have had a tick short there. We don't, and that is what it is. So right now we'll wait to see if Microsoft can fade back into that 293, which will take a long again. Meta, though, we're going to throw it back to those guys, but Meta just broke that level of 50. So we'll possibly look out below on Meta.
All right, let's talk some Google here as well. You guys mentioned, yeah, dead flat. We were just saying it's one of those earnings days that the initial moves, obviously there was a lot of excitement because it's such huge names reporting, but the initial moves pointed like it looked like it was going to be an exciting day. But Here's Google, yeah, almost exactly flat after their report comes in. It was better than expected, not bad, right across the board. The 70 billion in share buyback seemed to be the catalyst after market yesterday. That gets faded early on this morning. And now we're talking about whether Google's going to be positive or not on the day.
And given how many times it's rejected off yesterday's close, which has acted as an area of resistance, I kind of have that doubt. Look how many times we reject off this 103.85 once, twice, thrice, keep going, 4 times around here. So yeah, definite area of resistance around yesterday's close.
Yeah, not much to do on either of these so far today, guys. Microsoft or Google. Hopefully Meta coming up later today will be better.
Already.
So it's okay. So I mean, it's now moving a little bit away from it. If it goes too far, like if it breaks this consolidation down, let's just say. By the way, maybe we'll take the bet off because then it's not fair. Because if it goes way too far to the bottom, who cares? But I had 105 locked off as a level for me that I was concerned about. So even above it, you had resistance 106.5. That ends up holding. So I shorted only 05s. I had a scalp trade out for like $0.50 and then stopped out. I then sat it out. It tested the high of the day, didn't quite get to the high. And then once it rejected 05, this is right in the afternoon, auction was just after 11 o'clock, right at lunchtime. It rejected the 05, shorted the top of the consolidation. It played right back in 103.5. At that particular point, the NASDAQ was at support, so I just got out. I haven't worked back in because, quite frankly, if we bounce off the lows here on the NASDAQ and we hold the morning lows, 12.9 essentially, because you're under there in the pre-market, that doesn't, okay, it counts, but it doesn't count. At the open, we held 12.9. So if we bounce off of 12.9, I just feel like you're going to get a shot at that 105 level again. And that's the only place I've been sort of playing around with on Alphabet. So I don't want to jump in and short the bottom. I think we can get a little bit of a pop if the NASDAQ makes a bounce. And as long as it's underneath that 05 or in front of the 05, I'll go for that just again. And if we see 02s, that's probably a good long. I wasn't quick. I mean, there is a wick down here. It got to 102.60. That's real. But it didn't quite get close enough to 102 for me to get into that long. I think you can take that if we see it again.
Oh, 102, yeah. I'm all about that. We actually wrote down here, it's just funny you said that, we actually wrote down here 102 long also on Google. It didn't come in yet, but it was close enough to doing that, and it did, 102.67 right there. Again, we said we'd be as patient as we could be with this market, and especially when there's earnings. But with Google, again, we started getting in at about 32 or 33 here as it dips down. Actually, that's the first candle coming into 104. So we were up here at 105, comes back in. I told you, this was 5 or 10%. Then we took another piece right there as it came in again. So by the time we had this, I know we had 30%. We told you it was 10, 10, 10. So when it ripped up, it was a great move to come back into the open there from that flush down. But then this is the one that we really liked. We took this 105 area. So this is like, look, this is a 103.30. This out right there is 104.92. So we're already making $1.60 on our position. Then we got flat. The reason why we got flat is just in case it did not break that 105.10. Well, it does break that 105.10 and we get in, and then it was party on because we got all the way up here. These are all 106 outs. My best out is like 106.10. It kept going up to 106.40, which actually, if you zoom back out, that was yesterday's top right there. So you definitely understand that. Then it comes in, and this is what I was talking about, picking flowers again. We did this on the Midday show. We were talking about it until it eventually left out, and then it broke down on the Midday show there. At about 11:30, we finally broke. So here's all the longs. Look at this gift. 105.60 right there. So amazing, because when it went against us, we only had 30% left, and there's the take. We lose 20 cents on the last little bit, let it dip down again into 104, take that again for 80 cents, take it, and then eventually it breaks, and we haven't been back into Google. But I do like what Neil's talking about. You might be at a top right here as well of 104. So I just reshorted. We've already talked about Meta, or no, they're tonight, but I just have a new position on right now. We just took Meta short, 210.50. We told you that we were gonna do that when it broke the level. So there it is right there. We can draw a straight line. And I'm like, support and resistance. I mean, this is what I'm trading off of, right? So there's the break. Let's see if Meta, unfortunately, Sharif broke right there. We wish we still were in that short. We did get stopped out. But right now, it just bottom touched at 210.20. So that was 20 cents. We're waiting for a little bit more. My out's right here at 211. Let's see if we can see 209.50. That's my target for my first out. First out on Meta, 209.50. Let's see if that can come to fruition right now. But let's go over and talk about FRC. I haven't been trading it at all today, but I know Neil has a few fills.
Just seeing some comments coming through, guys. Biden's still speaking here, talking about the debt ceiling issue in the U.S. and just basically saying that he's going to meet with McCarthy or wants to meet with McCarthy, but not on that front, and no negotiating will essentially happen. On that note, Frank Caberna coming up in 20 minutes or so. We'll get his take on that and more. And talk some yields, because yields moving back to the upside on this worry of the impending deadline. FRC, trying to hold 6. We were sitting here in the pre-market, and it was trying to hold 7. I mean, that headline came out suggesting the White House had basically said they're not going to help. Help has run out, essentially, this morning, and that took it down to 4.5 or 450 down here. We do bounce, but I mean, there's not much in the way of positive news here for FRC.
No, and it's been stair-stepping down, even at moments where it found a bit of a move up. Like, look at this, pump up off 475 into 7, rejects that 7. Now, 7's been an important level for this going back into the early morning around 7 a.m. Multiple hours traded at that level, and then when it retraced up, it rejected. So have a look back. If it touches 7, that might be an interesting area to get in.
I have no idea what that was, but hopefully the ceiling's not going to fall on top of us. FRC as well on the volume side of things. The day's not over, but we're still not as high as yesterday. But we do get through that low. Obviously, probably took some stops out, but just a ton of volume, guys, for FRC.
It sounded like something in the overhead rig that has all the lights, because you can see a little bit of it here. It sounded like something fell, but when this was installed, so when we had the guys install all of this, I remember a quote, and our producer said this, you're supposed to be able to do pull-ups off of this, it's so strong. Not that anyone would test that, because I mean the liability would probably be a really bad idea if somebody hurt themselves, so we won't do it. I'm going to talk FRC very quickly. Yes, a screw is loose. We have a screw loose. I feel like I have a screw loose all the time. It's just, that's how it is sometimes. But FRC, I think a couple too many trades in there for myself. Early was good. Early was fantastic. And I shorted the bottom. And I flipped. I didn't go long FRC at the low. I actually held on to a short. I flipped long in Pack W. I'll show you that one. And then we took that. That was the hit this morning. Shorting it. It did a breakdown at the $5 level and ended up being the bottom. I stopped out at 550. I then came back to the short off 50s and then 7 even. And I just got out at 6. So the thing about this is a lot of people want to swing this, and I can the why is if there's any kind of a recovery, there's so much room for it to go. But we keep saying this. You could wake up one day, and that could be Monday, or that could be a couple of days, and suddenly it's owned by the government. And then who knows what the shareholders are going to get. And it's a big time risk. I did go only one direction in Pack W. And that was waiting around. Hey, what's up, Randy?
Key.
What's the key for? Oh, that's a fob.
Yeah. This is a key. This is a key to the.
You want the fob, safe. Man. I honestly I'm only using the fob from now on.
Oh no, it's not for here.
Oh, it's not the. Oh, it's something else.
Here
our security system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since Tony. Our security. No, I was joking.
No, it used to be a fingerprint system here.
Yeah.
And
now
it's
an
app on your phone.
Yeah.
But you guys know, I use literally one of these. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you can't see because I have my stickers for my daughter. Thanks. Every time she goes to swimming,
she
puts
BlackBerry.
Can you see it? It is.
You know it's a BlackBerry.
You guys know it's BlackBerry. But I always have to restart it. I'm I don't want to have to go get a coffee and restart my phone.
That's so funny because that phone is so new that it must have the latest Bluetooth technology.
Oh, it does.
Oh, does it?
No, every
Bluetooth 6 or something.
Literally everything works fine in my Bluetooth headphones.
No, but I'm saying the Bluetooth might be an older Bluetooth.
Yeah, maybe.
Legitimately.
It's that one app that sucks.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
and that's not a groundbreaking app for me. What the hell what was I talking about?
It's not a groundbreaking app.
No, I don't care because I use a fob when I go back to get a coffee or when I come in the morning.
Yeah, that app is useless.
Pack W, that's what we're talking about. Pack W, one long, off 11, took it early, it stopped out, and then FRC made a bottom. This was key. The second FRC halted up, I was already in it at 11:10, and when it was at 11:30, I just said buy more. So I got more at 11:30 and then just sort of jammed out on the way to 12. It turns out 12 was the high. It still is the high of the day. Their deposits look okay. It wasn't nearly as good as WAL, like Western Alliance. They had like a 30% move at one point, maybe like 25, 30%. PAC-W gives you half that, but you had to weather the storm as FRC was getting quadruped to the downside. I probably should have waited for the turn to go long, then I would have been 1 for 1 instead of 1 for 2, but we'll take it. I think this is going to be much more appealing for a long play. If you're looking for a recovery and a fill in the gap, like why gamble somewhere else when this is actually stair-stepping to the upside? So on any positive banking news, this feels like a safer bet, even though I'd still have a stop underneath any of these regional banks if I'm long.
Yeah, I know FRC has been a little bit tougher to trade today, but I like those halts. I think you got to wait for some of those to happen again. I was still waiting for that $8 mark. That never came in, so I don't really have too much love for FRC right now until it gets back to that $7 level. But Neil, I mean, I'm not going to, we just talked about that. Just quickly here, we got out of a piece there. We took the 50 period. And again, we have some good outs. Each one of these is 10%, so we're into 20% still on AMD as, again, when the market's moving, but not moving around too much here, I mean, it's downside, but we just bottomed out at 12,900. So we were seeing if 12,900 was going to hold, and it did. So that's why we got out right there on the first time down to 86. And then look, if you're going to be a trader, you want to take a shot that there's a chance that this thing can hold. And honestly, there was a chance. It did hold, and there's the hold on 12,900 as well in the future. So we knew this level was right here. I mean, it's like Meta's going against us right now, but small. I mean, I want to get more short into Meta. Maybe I should just do this right now. I was waiting for 79, or what am I at? I'm actually at 77, 210.75. So I'm right here right now. So let's just take a little bit short. We'll punch some 65s right now. We got 68s there, I believe, yeah. So we got some 68s there on the punch down, and that's removing liquidity. So we had to pay to get that fill. We are still going to wait for some 75s if those hit fine. Other than that, man, we're waiting for Meta to come back up and break this 211 or so before we wind up getting out of it all. So right there's Meta just filled us up at 75, so we get that fill as well. Now we have a position that we're comfortable with Meta, and our stop, I'm just double checking it right now, is 211. So if we get too excited up here all the way to 211, then we will have to punch out a Meta, because the market right now screaming, honestly, back up to the upside. It's a quick 30 handles up, man, right back into this level. So that makes sense. Let's see if it holds it now. I expect a retracement back down, but we are short the market. So let's go over there and talk about Tesla. Tesla hasn't cared that much today about what the market's doing, man. It's been a downside move. So let's go talk to Brendan and the Tesla man himself, Sharif. So what do you guys got for us on Tesla over there?
Yeah, let's talk Tesla. We were just talking on the notable weakness here that's continuing for Tesla back to the downside. Sharif and I were discussing yesterday. I mean, 150 looks like maybe a point where you kind of have to get interested. But outside of that, wow. What a move back downside this was this morning. Jefferies cutting to a hold from a buy. They go to 185. We're obviously way lower than that from 230. On Tesla, 2 days in a row, relative weakness across the board.
Not impressed with the contracting margins and the big CapEx spending and the stocks paid for it in the last little while. Let's have a look at the chart, because we're in, I don't want to say uncharted territories, but we haven't been at these levels since January, Brendo. This is the level that we broke yesterday. This was the 167, 170 level. That was the trough that we decidedly broke. Now we're in kind of no man's land. Either we touch 150 for that psychological hold, or we come down into this area here. We've had some trading back in January, that 145 area, Brendo. So yeah, doesn't look good.
Yeah, pretty clean move regardless this morning. If you happen to catch it to the downside this morning through pre-market lows, even yesterday's low gave you an opportunity to the downside. But back and forth we go now here, guys, for Tesla.
Yeah, I had 2 trades in Tesla, but basically at the same level, and we scalped it. You had to catch this one early, quite frankly. There were other fish to fry and kind of things I liked better. You knew that was going to be the case when you had Google and Microsoft earnings, and then you had FRC going crazy at the open. So Tesla wasn't top of the board, but when it held 156 the first time, I went over to the 156 short. I was scalping it and then holding some for the bigger move. I did get wicked out. There's that top wick as it came through VWAP. I missed the re-entry point. I know I was trading something else at the time, but regardless, no, never mind. It was Intel, so that's fine. But yes, that actually ended up breaking eventually, and now we're right back at 156. It's weird. Tesla has not been, like sometimes it makes a late charge in the afternoon, but it hasn't been a great stock to trade unless we get a bounce in the market late in the day. So I'll only play for that. And if we make a convincing bounce to the upside, I'll maybe look for a Tesla long, but it hasn't really done much in these afternoons. So I'm gonna maybe stay away from Tesla. I just got in, and we're not gonna talk about this because quite frankly, I don't know why we would, but I rounded into a Micron short after there was that sort of headline that came out and sort of talking about the tensions going on in Asia, and we know Micron got cracked down as one of the first chip name that got a salvo against them. It was at the 61 level and breaking down. This is the top. 2 days ago, the supply zone was a wide one from about 60, they call it 75, into that 61 and change. I shorted underneath. I'm going to wait till it gets above 80 to add into this in front of 61. It bounced off VWAP. I took some out because it made sense. This has been a strong name today. I know not all the chips have been very strong. Micron's up 4.5%. This is very different than sort of sitting on Intel pretty much all day long, where it's just all the way at the bottom. I didn't even get my last bid. That's kind of crazy. Intel might be holding 29. I may need to step this one up a little bit, but this is actually at a level that it could be a long, quite frankly. But Micron is much more dangerous because this is breaking out possibly today. I don't want this getting through that 61 quarter high, but I'll give it another shot, shorting some pops in MU.
Yeah, great trade. I mean, that's a great trade on Intel. That's for sure. I'm going to try to.
When it goes down.
I'm going to. Yeah, it has to work, but that's fine. That's a good one. And that's again, have your bias. And that's the one thing that we've talked about stock selection. I'm pretty sure you're only going short these days on that name. So have a bias, pick your spots.
I was long once the other day.
Once, yeah. Have your bias, go that way, and I think you can be rewarded. And I talked about Shopify moving around a little bit. It's not moving that much, but we just came up to the 50 period again on that. So we shorted Shopify right here at 08 or 06, sorry. I had another offer at 08. We didn't get it. Okay, I had to punch 06. So right now, let's see if Shopify can come back into this area. And I'll be happy if we can get this into that. Like this, again, we're just trying to scalp. And if it goes to back down in, that would be a good trade for us. So if we can get any fills, I'm going to put one, what is this? This 47, I mean, a dime? If we'll take a dime on a piece of this, maybe. If we can get it, we'll try to take 25% out down there. And then if the market does come back in, then fine. But Shopify's not moving that much. It's just this 50 period. You see what I'm talking about? We've respected this 50 period right there. We broke a little bit above it. But since then, it's been helping push it down. So right now, you're back down to 47 flat. So if you break 47 flat, then you probably just on momentum get into here to 97, 96. So we'll see if we can get a little Shopify trade there. And if we do take out 10, maybe up to 15 or so, then we're going to get out of Shopify. So again, 10 cents worth of risk, 10 cents here. I think Shopify is worth it at this level. No real reason for that. And I'm actually going to check out Shopify's earnings, what date they are. They're late too, I believe. OP. That's what my kids say. You don't know what OP means when kids say that's OP? There's no way you know.
No idea.
Yeah, because I didn't know either. Overpowered. So it's like when you're playing a video game. No, but it's like if you're playing Mario Kart, you'd say the mushroom is OP.
That makes sense.
So that's what it means.
Once you hear
earnings date, yeah, exactly. And now I know that all the time because my kids are like, Dad, that bazooka or whatever is OP. I'm like, great. On that one. So anyways, yeah, Shopify right now just breaking O's. There it comes. Let's see if we get a nice little move to the downside right now on Shopify. It's a new position for me. We just took it right now. I like that 98 now that I just see that right there. I want to take profit if there's going to be profit to be taken. So right now it's coming back in. We missed some levels on Meta. You guys know that. And if you're not sitting there taking a fill, then there's no fill for you. And as the Soup Nazi says, no soup for you on that fill. But we got soup right there. We got Meta. Meta just came in right there. That's a nice fill for us, man. So we'll see about this one on Meta. We just get a 50 fill, which is that level. Averaged up Meta, almost stopped out, but no, comes back in and gives us that 50. So let's see if we can get a likely fill here on Shopify at 98. And hopefully Meta can continue its move down here.
Speaking of.
Yeah, okay, so speaking of, we have, you just talked about Tesla?
Yeah, we did.
We did. Okay, so let's go over to the board here and let's do Meta talk tonight. As here we go, man. We're in the money now, 30 cents on Meta.
We're teeing it up more than fine. The point, obviously, that earnings are coming up after the close tonight. So do we get a repeat of what happened with the two last night, or do we see a little bit of an improvement? It was worth noting. I mean, we touched on it a little bit this morning. Meta did pop up on that Google report last night, so the ad numbers specifically seem to help.
Yeah, and the YouTube numbers came in better than expected. All their ad sales, in fact, came in better than expected, Brendo. But that doesn't necessarily mean, or it's going to translate into Meta. It means that Google did well. We shall see what the bell brings.
Yeah, it's been a few quarters in a row, but Google seems to always be right before Meta, and Google ends up being a bit of a precursor to what is to come for Meta, guys.
Yeah, like how bad can it be for Meta? If Google wasn't, Google's not exactly up today, but how bad can it be on Meta if the advertising wasn't a disaster for Google? So the expected move is 7.5% plus or minus. We get this one from Options AI. It just happens to be a nice little tool. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, quite frankly. I mean, it's just, again, it's a metric that's useful because maybe if you get a move that's less than that, it becomes interesting tomorrow. But Meta, I had one trade on Meta today. It was really just a long off that 09. I pulled my 15. We had support in the afternoon that turned into resistance yesterday. So that said to me, 209 was a level to work off of. By the time it got to that high, I was looking on that pop. I scaled out. I got trailed out, at the last of it, and then was just looking for shorts. But the highs didn't get shorts on Meta because it didn't get to 215. But got shorts elsewhere. So the market is coming to the downside. We'll go away from that because I reloaded. I talked about Micron. Micron got to the same entry point, back into VWAP pretty much instantly. So same in, same out, and the market keeps falling. We're breaking low of the day, people. Almost. We're almost at the low of the day. So if it hasn't broken down yet and you can still get in, that's why I like Micron because it was way up at those highs. We got a chance here for another one of those flush cities as the NASDAQ is on the lows as we speak.
Yep. Okay. So there it is right now. We'll tweet this out, but there we go, man. We've got this on lockdown right now. So let's go, man. You guys want this as the market starts to flush downside right now. So we did tee up Meta a little bit. Thanks, Brendo, for that. And there it is right now. Here's a nice downside move. We're 90 cents in the money now as Meta's starting to bleed. We still got half the position. So this is a good one. We talked about 209.50 coming into play. I still have a bid there. So 209.77, if we can get that right there, we'll take it. We're pretty close to making $1 on this trade clean right now. We're 78 cents now in the money on this. And then the other trade that we just took is Shopify, and boom, Shopify. Yes, sir. Wow. We are now at our highest spot we've been at all day. So that is required to do that. Hey, Miss V, she's at the end of that right there. So here we go to the downside. It's 50 cents in the money for AMD. Like yesterday, we were all long at this point, I believe. Now we're all short, man. We have the ability to flip it up. It's just that easy right now to flip your position. If you don't like it one way, look at the chart. And it's pretty simple for me. Here's the Meta. We're talking about it right now. There's that breakdown. We've been short into earnings right now, so we'll take it out now that it ekes itself back upside a little bit here. I'm going to put another bid. We'll take a 14 right there. So we just take another out there on Meta as we only have now 40% left of this position, but we're out of it. So there it is coming to the downside. Let's wait to see if Meta can hold this 209.50. I'm actually going to cancel that bid now. Let's see if it does come all the way back down and actually take that out. As we've seen it. Thanks for the board here today, guys. We can wrap that up. But we saw Netflix on earnings. I think it went up $2 into earnings. And then I think last night also, if we could check out Google. So what I'm trying to get at is it doesn't matter what the stock does, in the last hour or so. That's not necessarily, a precursor of what those earnings will be, because although Google, of course, went down and then this happened straight up. Now we know what's happened to Google now today as we battle around just getting red now. But that was a nice move down, followed by this huge move up. And I believe Microsoft as well yesterday. Let's just see what they did, because Microsoft's, oh God, we might not be able to see exactly what Microsoft did into yesterday's close. But yeah, still, so there's Microsoft into the close as well. So at this time yesterday, let's call it 240. So right here, Microsoft was 277. Microsoft closes 275. So it actually had a pretty aggressive move to the downside before blasting up. So I don't think that we're short Meta for any reason other than the breakdown of the stock itself, not a call for earnings. So we'll wait for that. Shopify, we're out of half.
FRC's halted.
So that was a good one. Okay, go over to FRC because halted one more time. Which way?
So basically the news was that First Republic Bank said to face potential curb on Fed borrowings. That's not necessarily a good thing, and it halted down. It was at 650. It broke VWAP. It actually held 6. So again, I feel like the halt bands on certain situations need to be a little bit wider. It's just that doesn't feel like that's enough to halt it, but that's fine. It's a tapping theoretical auction price 610. So it halted at 610. This has been happening the whole time. Like every single time this is halted, the indicated open has been flat. It's SSR, right? So maybe that has something to do with it. If I pop it over, I think you can see on the book here, like it halted at 610. That was just there. It was just like 250,000 shares was on the offer at 610 to sell it, but I don't really see it anymore. So I'm going to assume it will be open in 5 minutes, or at least under 5 minutes now, a couple more minutes left. If it's 10, fair enough, but just it'll monitor it. I'm not in it. I don't think Sean's in it. I canceled my bid on PACW the second I saw it happen because, quite frankly, I'm not going to have resting. Even if I like the level, I will not have resting bids on one of these other names here if I see FRC go to the downside. So if it opens and stabilizes, I'll maybe try to go VWAP or 11s on PACW like before, but not into a down halt. That's too crazy. I just moved my bid on Intel because the market's just quadunking to the downside, and I'm going to trail this to 29. But Micron just gave a little bit of a head fake at VWAP for me. So if it bounces again, I'll try to short back in the 60 to 80 range, as we did hit the low of the day on the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of a check up there. So we talked about this before. When it got to 13,000, has it really broken 13,000 until it takes like 20 handles at least? Well, it hadn't. So the shorts were all valid the whole way until it got to like a significant bit above. I think the same thing. We wicked the bottom by a point or two, and that's about it. Then we bounced off of this. So I'm not really sure we're free falling just yet. Individual names are free falling, but the market's still holding some support.
Yeah, perfectly talked about right there. I'm going to put another bid on Shopify just to get going. I'm still watching FRC, waiting to see when this thing opens back up because you're right here at $6. So if we take that down, then yeah, it could be a good one. The next level to look for FRC would be this 550, 560 area, right into here. And I'm just looking for past halt areas. And again, it's halting due to volatility, so it's not like these areas are like key for any reason. But you want to look to there because that's where the volume was. So we'll have to wait to see on this move to the downside. All this news, we talked about it again, not to bring up the sticky note again, but it's like we were always talking about being very, very careful with where the risk was at FRC. And I don't think you want to hold it overnight. That's back-to-back days. Yesterday down 50%, today down 25%. So if you bought this name 2 days ago, even 2 days ago, you're down 75%. So and that's actually even more because 50%, then 25% of that new worse. Number. So yeah, it's not good. So we'll wait to see when that opens back up. Meta did try to go for a little bit of a jog there. I didn't get scared, nor did I reload it. But that's okay. That's fine still. We want to hold this for the end of the day now into Meta. And I'm being serious. I want to hold this till the end of the day. I don't even have any bids on this name. Ooh, I almost hit the Fibonacci again. I don't want that. How do I get off of that? There we go. So we'll see. So it just hit. We were waiting at 209.77 this time. It didn't fill us. It went down to 82.
It's open and dying.
Okay, FRC's open and dying. So let's go back.
It's already halting down 5. You can't even.
Shoot.
Oh my goodness.
I can try to get that short.
I'm on it.
Are you on it?
Oh my goodness, it's not filling. No fill. Did I get it? I got something.
You did?
I got something at 79 here. So look, it opened essentially into an almost instantaneous down halt. So I suppose if you're like an algo, you could have been a little bit faster with this. And am I even looking at the daily chart? But there was a chance, like in here, it broke 6. It's SSR, so you were offering 95, offering 90, then it goes into a halt at 79. I'm shorted at that 79. I just feel like I'm going to short it back into $6 if that's going to be the case. We'll see what happens. It opens up in 5 minutes. It is a volatility halt, and the news on FRC was said to face potential curb on Fed borrowings. There was another headline. I'll see if I can if I can find it. FDIC considers lowering the bank's rating if a deal isn't reached. FDIC move would likely limit FRC's access to Fed facilities. That's not necessarily good. In my estimation, but we'll see what happens. Sometimes these things rally off of stuff like that. And someone had asked, confirm if it's a volatility halt. So here's a good resource for you. I can tell you, yes, it's volatility. Otherwise, NASDAQtrader.com, and then look for their halt page. It's not just NASDAQ stocks, it's all the North American markets. So you can see NYSE here, FRC halted, go over the reason code, it'll tell you volatility halt. Sometimes it's M, sometimes it's LUDP, like whatever Pure Cycle Technologies is halted. It'll give you a quote resumption time and a trade resumption time. This will be 5 or 10 minutes because that's how they roll.
Okay, we're not going to look. He's turning it around. Okay, why? The NASDAQ is up, dude.
Randy does whatever he wants to do. Randy does whatever he wants.
Let's do it again. Can't see it, so. Okay.
Ooh, look at the hot dog that Katrine's got on her desk. It looks
Yeah, that's the same one that ran. That's what I'm saying. See that? That's the Randy. The Randy brought the sausage on the
get
Midday
taxed
show.
real fast. You leave that around me.
There we go. Okay, just thank you, Randy, for that. Always a fine gentleman helping us out wherever we can and needed. Thank you, Randy, again, for turning our friend Bear around, or our bull into a bear. I feel like I want to turn that back around. Okay, but what we're doing anyways right now is we'll go, oh my God, because, hey man, we gave you 2 trades so far that we've been on the air. It's been the Meta short, it's been the Shopify short. Shopify has been a great stock to the downside. So there's, perfect, thank you, Mahad. Nice move down for Shopify. Yes, sir. We are collapsing right now on Shopify. We just took out the day's low, I believe, on Shopify. We're right here right now. So this was another one of those shorts, man. We brought this to you live here on Trader TV Live. Not only do we hopefully have some banger trades for you, but I know for a fact that we have the best guests in the industry, and it's about to be raining truth on that right now. Because we're going to go back. See, I do this because, like, in case this doesn't work out, I can be like a hype man for something right there. We'll be like, remix, and we'll do all that. But no, we truly do mean this. He's back from a long hiatus. He's back a couple times already. But we are so happy to have him from IG. It's going to be Frank Caberna, and it's going to be over with Brendan.
All right, guys. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on FRC. If anything crazy happens, throw something, and we'll maybe cut away to make sure we get that. But, yeah, FRC is still halted, guys, on that note. Again, is said to face potential curbs on Fed borrowing. So we get that rumor kind of floating around early on this morning that the White House was going to turn the taps off, essentially. So maybe this is just follow through from that. As mentioned, Frank Caberna is with us from IG US to have a little bit. Hey, Frank, how are you? Good to see you. We'll have a little bit of a discussion on some yield action over the past couple of days and this debt ceiling discussion that continues to kind of lead these markets over the past couple of days as well, including this afternoon. Kind of timely here as we get some more indications that President Biden not really interested in doing any kind of negotiations, but will essentially say, or he said anyways, that he will meet with both sides to continue the talks and hopefully get somewhere. But give us your take here. Why is this important, first of all, and what should we expect going forward?
Yeah, really interesting, Brendan, and thank you so much for having me. Of course, the guys so kind as always. I hope I can hold up to the reputation you all have held out there for me. But yeah, let's get into a little bit of what this debt ceiling has to do with markets, because you're starting to see a little bit of the fear play out in stocks. It's weird because it's a mixed bag with the regional banking crisis, which is different, but also somewhat connected here. But let's stick to the debt ceiling talks and what that could mean if the Treasury were to have to default. And you see here, you have the credit default swap premiums for U.S. debt 1 year out. So essentially short-term U.S. debt. This is the movement over the last few years in credit default swaps, going from a range of 10 to 20 basis points. And you can think of it as almost like an option where it's like, if I have U.S. Treasury debt, I'll pay 10 to 20 basis points of what I'm getting, right now for Treasury bills around 400, 500 basis points. I'll give you 10 to 20 basis points to ensure against a potential default. That's where it's been trading for the last several years. Here I have about 5 or 6 years of data. The last few months, Brendan, the premium for this has gone from 10 to 20 basis points to quadruple that. Got as high as last Friday at 90 basis points here, as it's still relatively unlikely that the U.S. Treasury has to default as a function of debt ceiling talks not being resolved. But the market is at least pricing in a larger than normal chance of said default here. And Yellen came out yesterday, talked about how this would be catastrophic for the economy if we couldn't reach a resolution on this debt ceiling being raised, because that would mean that not only are our Social Security payments and stuff like that going to be hard to pay off for the government in about a month or two from now if they run out of money, but also that would likely fall in line, Brendan, with a lot higher interest rates for companies and consumers, and really potentially end in an economic downturn for the stock market. But right now, the odds, though they've heightened, Brendan, still relatively speaking low, but some interesting action nonetheless in interest rates as well.
Yeah, and just to quickly get an idea of what kind of time frame we're talking about here, Frank, how long do we have before this becomes a real problem?
Well, so you've seen the action not only in the credit default swap space here, Brendan, but also in the yield curve. And as always, I jump on here, talk about interest rates, much to the chagrin of probably a lot of your users. But interest rates are usually the tell for a potential problem in the economy. And if we bring up that yield curve, you can see that the 1-month Treasury bill got all the way down to 3.4% interest rate from being a month ago at 5%. That's an unprecedented fall in interest rate. Now, why did it fall in the 1-month time span as opposed to the 3-month time span, Brennan? That is because people have been piling into 1-month Treasury bills as opposed to 3 months and 6 months, because the idea would be that the U.S. Treasury has maybe a month or two left if this debt ceiling weren't to be raised before they run out of cash, meaning that the 3-month and 6-month Treasury bills would be at the potential for this technical default that, of course, would, even if they did default, would hopefully be resolved at some point here. But those are the ones that would be at potential for the U.S. Treasury not making coupon payments for them or not paying back the par value for them, and thus demand heightened for 1-month Treasury bills, because that's where they think would be the last of the U.S. Treasury's debt that could be paid off. So they're looking at that June, July timeframe for when they would run out of money if this debt ceiling weren't to be raised.
It's a great look on that graphic, specifically just highlighting the fact that we are still inverted and just how much we are still inverted. I remember you and I sitting here a year ago talking about the initial inversion when it first happened. So here we are, better part of a year later, still dealing with the same thing and still so severely in that direction as well. When it comes to what is to come then, I want to talk about regional banks, but I also want to talk about what's coming next week. Because remember, the Fed's coming on Wednesday next week. So we'll get the next interest rate decision. It has come off. The CME Fed Funds Tool has come off its high, was above 90% just going back a couple of days ago. We're back to 70s. But it looks like, another quarter point going to come here.
Yeah, the fear has definitely seeped into this, as it not only looks like this is going to be the peak of U.S. rate hikes here if they were to do that 25 basis point hike, which is still more likely than not, 73% chance. But Brendan, as you allude to, and I have seen for all my 10 years of trading, even back to my first days at the Chicago Board of Trade, going into, we're not a week out from this FOMC meeting, and this is pretty much as close to 50-50 as we get. It's usually 95% cut or hike or no change, and being even around 70-30 is pretty significant here. And the credit default swap part of it is one thing. The U.S. Treasury with a potential technical default coming from the debt ceiling not being raised this week or next week or beyond. It seems like the market is semi-comfortable with that fear, even though those CDS products have heightened in price. What's really driving this to go back and forth seems to be that regional bank piece. And it seems like those two stories are maybe coming together to drive fear in this market. You guys over there were just talking about all of the different stocks that have reversed throughout the day. Interest rates going back and forth as well, partially for that default risk, but I think primarily for the regional banking crisis here. People starting to try to suss out whether or not the Fed will come out next week and say, actually, we're not going to hike this 25 basis points. We see a couple potential problems, and we're going to hold here, which will really present a mixed bag for equities. I mean, I would be interested to hear what you have to say, Brendan, about what you think equities would make of the Fed holding, because of course tech stocks have loved low interest rates, but low interest rates from the Fed would signify that they see real economic turmoil, right?
Yeah, and I mean, if you go back to the last meeting, if you remember just a month ago, a lot of people were thinking that that was going to be the outcome, and we saw the market actually rally on that going into the announcement, and then it turns out we get the hike anyways. But it has to be, at this point, a little bit bullish, if not a lot bullish, as the market continues to, be in this really tight range going into next week, almost, as people are waiting for that maybe as a catalyst for the next move to come, but we will see. You mentioned the regional bank side of things, guys, just FRC, there's nothing new as of yet, but the last comments again, the FDIC would move likely to limit First Republic's access to the Fed's facility. So, I mean, this is turning into more of the SIVB, SBNY story that we saw going back to a month or so ago, and that kicked off that move in yields back to the downside that we were just highlighting. On Thursday, we also get a Bank of Japan meeting. Tell us why that's important at this point. I mean, the Japanese yen has been in trouble, I mean, going back to the end of last year, but definitely the first part of this year.
Yeah, and you're correct to lead off our segment here today with the fact that we are about to go into a real hot economic calendar week, and the Bank of Japan meeting on Thursday night, likely not a lot to happen there. They are expected to keep the rates at, if you don't know about this, they're the only major economy that's in negative territory here. But on Thursday night, they'll likely decide to keep interest rates there. What'll be really interesting, though, and I have here the Japanese 10-year rate chart up for you, and you can see that this market has traded up to positive 50 basis points, and it was held down closer to 0% for years and years and years, as the Bank of Japan have been big interveners in the currency and interest rate market. They've held this 10-year rate down, as well as their short-term rate that they make actual decisions on. The fact that this 10-year, Brendan, is trading at its highs tells you that the Bank of Japan might be forced at some point, because they are seeing relatively high inflation to their past years. They might be forced to act at some point, and I would be surprised if in their press conference they didn't speak directly to whether or not they see themselves acting in the future, or they see themselves holding off, which would be very dovish, very bad for that Japanese yen. But I bring it all up because, yes, we have a Fed meeting next Wednesday, and we have an ECB meeting on Thursday as well. This is not only earnings season, but it is rate decision season here. And this is going to be very meaningful for exchange rates, because while the yen is back at lows against USD, euro is back above 110 and comfortably. And I'm just wondering if Japan can come out this week, not necessarily hike, but speak to future hikes. And the European Central Bank next week can come out and either hike or commit to a stronger path forward than the U.S. And the U.S. continues to have the regional banking problems, the debt ceiling problems, and other risks that seem to be U.S. relevant only. That dollar could see a lot more downside here, especially, like I say, if some of the currencies that haven't been gaining ground, like the yen, can turn on it as well. Really interesting to watch not only these interest rate decisions, Brendan, but how they affect that U.S. dollar that has been looking pretty vulnerable in recent months.
Yeah, we've seen the volatility fall off a cliff on the equity side of things. We've seen volatility kind of go to sleep a little bit anyways on currency side of things as well, and even yields over the past week, maybe all ahead of, as you say, big week to come next week. Frank Cabernis, Senior Content Strategist over at IGUS. I mean, we'll tee it up. Hopefully, Frank, it's great to have you back. By the way, it's been a week of technical issues for Frank over there. So great to have you back. We'll hopefully tee up things on Tuesday next week before we get the interest rate decision actually on Wednesday. Great to see you as always. Thanks, Brendan.
So as always, thank you, Frank. But wild action here on FRC in that time. It's insane. And we were just talking about how great the community is and support for Frank. We got a super chat in there saying great content from Michael Kenyon, and we 100% agree. If anything, we can't have that guy on enough. I wish we could have something like that every single day. But FRC is now almost all the way back. So that life comes at you quick. I had a 79 short. It opened up at 70. I took some out there. I got 540, went into a down halt. When it got to 5, I'm dead honest, like all I saw was a monster bid at 5. I can't even tell you. I wish I had my screen recorded at that time so I could get a second look at how big the bid was at 5. I just know that it was ginormous. And the second I saw it, I just got what I could out at 02. That was not enough. It immediately went into an up move. I got some out at 550. I'm now down to shreds. I said I would hold on to some of it for the $6 level. I have 20% on right now. We'll see what happens. It opens back up. But wow, that was completely insane. I felt like it was maybe multiple millions on that bid, but I could be wrong. That could have been hundreds of thousands on multiple gateways, and it was only 2 or 3 million. It felt like it was at least 5 million shares when I stared at it. But a big bid out there in FRC. It's now coming back to the upside. Let's see what happens. I mean, this thing can do anything. It's not for everybody. Thank you, everyone in the chat, because it was Renata was saying, I can't trade this stock. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's not for everybody, like all this halt fest. And she got some great and fantastic advice from our community because you guys are great. That's not the only thing moving. I'm going to go to one chip name here because NVIDIA is rolling over. I got out of Intel. It double tapped the day's low, so I got out. But NVIDIA is starting to roll over here. I still have my Micron as everything is testing these lows. All that happened on Intel is it bounced off the morning low, and I had a trailing stop in there. I'm out. It tends to consolidate at levels like this. You saw it happen in the afternoon where I was in the supply zone short, and it went sideways the entire afternoon until the last 3 minutes. But the shorts are printing. I don't see any reason to be long this market right now.
No, I mean, I want to thank right now Michael Kenyon as well. Good trade on FRC, but thank you to Michael Kenyon for the great content. $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Michael, for that. And I went back there and I saw Greg and Brankos and they go, uh-oh, he's heating up. So we're heating up. They can see the trades that we have on board right now, and we've been heating up today. Today's been definitely a heated up day for me right now. So
The gate?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
no, it's one has it too.
I did. Why?
okay. All right, so right now, I don't know. This is the big one right here to the downside. 209.20, 209.15. This is what's happening with Meta. We did take a piece out at 209.50. We said we'd try to hold for the rest of the day, but right now it's $1.70 in the money right now. So here's the downside move. We're going to see what happens here at 209.20, 209.15, but we're breaking lower. This is that bottom of the day right now on Meta. So yeah, I mean, great trades on FRC, $1.70 in the money on Meta right now, 40 cents in the money on Shopify. Look at Shopify just bleed down. I mean, I hope you guys took this trade. I mean, if you did, that was a good one. We'll hit the sirens for you because there it is, a nice little dip down there for FRC, and it's continuing its move to the downside right now. But okay. Right here, just to get going there. We'll type that in there. Watch out what's happening with Shopify to the downside. AMD, this is the forgotten child right now. We went short on AMD early before this move even thought about happening. And thing is, our line disappeared, but what we were doing was going short on this break right here. So it failed first. We got in, not only that, man, we got an average price right there of 86.50. So when that fell down to 85.50, like now we're $1 in the money. We'll just hold all these shorts, man. So yeah, Greg, Brankos, they were right, man. We're heating up right now. It's been a good day to the downside, and it's going to continue, I think, anyways. Meta earnings. Hey, Sharif, you just sat down. We're $2 in the money on that Meta short right now, and we actually have it this time. So 211 we're short right now, 210.75 as Meta right now breaking 209. So $2 on Meta, $1 on AMD, and we just, oh man, like the more and more I get out of the Shopify, the more this thing falls down. So there's a move all the way to the downside again on Shopify, and it is absolutely murking downside. A lot of you in the chat, hey, look, I know this was a trade that I talked about and when we took it, but thank you to you guys for taking the trade. I mean, I can't make you hit the key, but I'll take the props for that. But I want to say shout out to everybody on the chat because we talk about it all the time. There's so many ideas that we give to you, but there's so many ideas that you give right back to us. So a big shout out to everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody for just keeping it the best community out there. Thanks to Bears vs. Bulls for monitoring it, and it's been an absolutely great ride that we're just starting. So hopefully you found us a long time ago. If you found us right now, thank you for doing that. but she's right behind us right now, so she's going to get another one right. Oh, no, she's
No,
not.
she's gone.
Good, good. So
She
she's-
still hasn't eaten that hot dog?
So there's the Ola right there. So
She's
thank
so
you.
busy, she's not even eating.
No.
That's how she works.
Yeah, she's super busy, so that's great. But Katrine right there, hit the like button if you can. Let's get those going, man. Frank Cabernet, the quality of the content,
was great,
absolutely fantastic.
Did you get Ronnie Boy here?
Was it that content one? No, I did not get this one.
Shout out to Ronnie Boy, 225. By the way, FRC open. I have a stop above $6. I might reload it. We'll see. But FRC, he took 45 hundo at 510 on FRC in front of that $5 level, which was ridiculous, and out at 565. Last I checked, that was a winner. So shout it out.
Congratulations
To you, sir. It's actually still at 565 or ish or whatever. It got enter twice. Why do I have to hit enter twice? So it opened back up, doesn't challenge 6. This is where I wanted the fills from whole price to $6. I guess it's not going to happen. Starting to come back in here. I just want to short into 6, which doesn't necessarily mean 565. I'm going to get an offer out above that 80 level in case it pushes back up. Otherwise, I'm going to hold. I have 20% left. Breaks 550. I'll get some out in front of, oh, it's going into a halt. I'm not playing the halt game. I'm going to get some out. I had 10% left now. I'm going to get some out on the halt, and then I'll get some out in front of $5. That seems like it's going to be the range. This is not for everybody. Maybe it's just a halt fest for the rest of the day. I don't know. But you just saw it push back in and give you essentially like a halt trade in a matter of, what was that, 5 minutes? So it halts for 5 minutes, it's open for 5 minutes, and then it halts again. So that's where we're at right now. I cancel orders while we're in the halt stage and then go back to the short it from 580 to 6 level and get out in front of $5 because somebody wants to buy the stock at that price. I forgot to mention I was in Alibaba. I know I talked about it with somebody in the chat, and I forget who it was, but it was like one other person talking about that Alibaba. I'm shorted at 20s. I'm going to get out at the low of the day. When I shorted the break of 83, it held 82.80. It's barcoding in front of 82.80, so we'll work with that one. Got MU, FRC's got my attention to be sure. The tap is just 542. Every single time FRC has been halted, the indicated open has been flat. Every single time. Like there hasn't been a halt this afternoon where the indicated open wasn't exactly where it halted. So you're not getting any information out of the theoretical auction price. Sometimes it's useful. Right now it's not very useful at all because it's just telling you 542, which is exactly the price that this one halted.
Yeah.
So buckle up. We're in a power hour now. We pack W at 11. I like that 11, but not if this thing's free falling. That's the problem. It looks a lot better. This catches a bit off 5, and I can get pack W at 11, then I'll go for it. But this has to catch a bid first.
Yeah, I don't know, Chill Vibes. You just said awesome. I don't know for what, but yep, awesome. Awesome day so far here today. AMD is breaking the bottom. I was going to get out if we take 70, so let's just see if AMD continues to make the move down. This is a big trade for us, for me right here as well. We did get into FRC. I just took it before it halted. I tried to get it up here, and it just kept going down, down, down. Eventually, I get it at 55 or 56. What am I short at? Well, you can see it on the board there, 55. So we'll wait for that $5 mark. If we can get that, that's the first trade for me on FRC today, and we'll see if we can't make it a winner right there as well. What's tap? Theoretical auction price. So it's right there. But I feel like since I don't know if we've switched providers or what, but we're not getting that data anymore. It used to give us a rough estimate
Sometimes it does.
of where it was opening up. So, yeah. But it won't give it to us this time because it's not going to open at 540. Well, we'll see. Maybe it opens at 542. But anyways, yeah, I'm looking for that $5 mark right there. So we'll see if that can come in one more time for that. But yeah, we can look at some new trades there. If there's anything else that people want to talk about. I mean, Meta right now is honestly, man. Meta has been an awesome trade to the downside. We got stopped out there at 1150, but hey, man, revenge is a dish best served cold, and this time it's frozen. So right there, it's a huge move down on Meta. We said that we wouldn't trade Meta today. We'd have our mind on other things. But once, noon, we could switch it up. Once levels are developed, man, and we have an opinion, then we short Meta. These are all shorts. Like if I had sort of that, instinct a little bit more, then we could have just been holding all these and we'd really be laughing at this point right now. I'm just waiting for FRC to open back up. I mean, the Shopify one, that is really, man, Shopify can go right in the gates of hell. Did we hammer that one or what? You want to talk about PDT rule and stuff like that? I mean, this is day after day. We're giving like 1 ins, multiple outs to the downside. That's the problem for me for PDT because I would never know where to get out. But I don't have to worry about that. We don't trade that here. We're in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, where those rules simply do not exist. So nice downside move there to 4. Plus we're trading props, so it's different.
That's the other thing. Yeah.
46.50 rate to the downside as Shopify continues its move down. Like as if we have this trade right there, but we do. Nice downside move right there for Shopify, still breaking down. And it's one thing to give a trade and talk about it after the fact, but to take it, have it go a little bit against you, then for this kind of action to happen right in front of everybody really is what to me makes the show as special as it really is. Not only that, but it's a host, right? We've got Brendan, we've got Neil, we've got Sharif, we've got Max. We've had a lot of great hosts on this show, and we're continuing to grow the show and get better and better every day. And we have the best moderator in the business as well. So,
always killing it.
I mean, when you stack the deck against everybody else, that's quite frankly why nobody else can compete. So, unfortunately, sorry for everybody else trying to do this, but you've already found the best, and you're rocking with us right now. So that's good. The halt rate here, I'm trying to find the time, was 06.
30 seconds.
So we're open in 30 seconds right now on FRC. It is 3:10. 311 right now flat here in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So let's see where FRC goes. If this can go near 5, I'm just going to put a bid and see if we can get that somewhere around $5. Waiting for it to open to hit enter. If we do break above, I don't have a stop order out. Okay, but I was thinking about the same level here, 80s. So if we break above 80s, I'm just going to get out for a 25-cent hit. So let's see if that does happen there. 580 out.
It didn't open.
No,
it should open any second now. It should
it's 0650, wasn't it?
It should be open. No, 20s, 22.
Oh, was it 0622?
Maybe it's a 10-minute. Okay, there it is.
There it is.
That was hilarious. Like it delayed for like a split second. It's open. If it tries to make a bounce, by the way, Disney is absolutely flushing. You made a Frozen reference, and Disney, by the way, is just getting shellacked. No, it's getting smoked, Disney. I'm going to get to the chart once we decide what direction we're going here. So it came down to 520 and it's bouncing back up. I want to be shorting back into that 80 level. Maybe I'll wet the beak by getting an offer out there. I just want that chance. If we get a pop into that 6, I'll take a small piece. Oh, it's going into an up halt? Nah, never mind. It's going into an up halt. I'm not doing anything here. I mean, it's in the money. I want the fills above 580 into 6. So it's going into an up halt. This is what's going to be. 5 minutes, halt waiting. 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes of trading. How long was that? It wasn't even 5 minutes.
No, 5 minutes.
I know, it's nothing.
That was a minute. That was
like a minute
at most
of
a minute there because
remember
it was 311. I go, we're now live. It's 311. It's now 312:20. So that was at most a minute open right there.
Bands.
I said I put a bid down here near $5. It went to 518, so we didn't get that fill. But now it looks like whenever you halt up, I always feel like that next print is higher. So we'll probably wind up getting out of this one around that 580 mark. And if we miss it, hopefully we'll get 6. This is just playing around. This is play money right now. What's up, Steve G? Let's hit that like button one more time. I don't have it. Do we have that fast like one? That's my favorite one. There, this one. So yeah, if we can hit the like button.
Oh, there it is. You got it.
There it is too. No, I didn't hit that. Those guys must have hit it over there.
Oh, okay. Sharif hit it?
No,
Sharif's watching Arsenal
not
and they're
even
already
paying
losing.
attention right now.
What's hilarious is every single time Arsenal's losing, there's a mess. What?
They're losing.
I know. But like, you know how a goal gets scored against Arsenal and there's a message in the chat, tell Sharif Arsenal's already losing. It's like, you guys are cold. But Disney, you made a Frozen reference and Disney broke the low. So I don't know. 97.40, flat bottom break on Disney just now. You can see it on the daily. That is rounding to the downside.
Wow, Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
We missed a story.
This is, I don't know if it's flummoxed right now. It broke down. It's been all red ever since. Was that a call just now? To Brennan.
Yeah, it was out during the midday, guys, or a little bit early on anyways. Disney officially suing the Florida government or state government over free speech. So that was a little bit earlier on today. But yeah, it's been downside ever since.
Yeah. Okay. So I saw that story on the midday. So
But it reacted late.
That's what I was going to say. That story was 12. I saw on Brendan's screen there 12:04. That story, but it doesn't matter. That's probably what it is. If that's the only thing right there. So this move kind of starts at about 1 o'clock, or 2 o'clock almost. Straight downside. So I feel like we probably are missing something else in there, but it doesn't matter. Momentum is momentum, and it's not lying right now. So it is straight to the downside. Like that story was somewhere probably right here where you have a big volume spike. That's 12:30, but even then, nice move to the downside right now for Disney. As I just bought some more of these shares, so we're going to wait May 10th. That was the big date there for Disney earnings. Everything else is collapsing. We did get out of our AMD rate here at the same price we're at right now, 85.75. We talked about that price, so that came out already. I'm trying to find some more trades that we might like.
NVIDIA back to
make
270.
right now. Microsoft. Oh, the stock that I gave everybody on Jan 1st, and it's not, it's not like it's performing absolutely amazing or anything like that, but Starbucks right now, there's 4 names that are at 52-week highs today. It's Chipotle, it's Monster, it's Microsoft, and it's Starbucks right now, as Starbucks, nice little upside move. And I don't even think it's up that much since January. Yeah, so it was right into here, January. No, it has a big move. Yeah, so 99, basically $100 to 110. So it's not like it's, that's what I'm saying. It's not like it's a crazy call or anything. But there it is, Microsoft or Starbucks, nicely done there, as Chipotle with great earnings. Starbucks soon to follow with McDonald's as well. SBUX, you talked about Wendy's. That could be another one that starts to go as well. Earnings date, May 2. So Starbucks just around the corner next week. We'll find out about them.
When's Disney?
Again, May 10th.
May 10th, that's
yep.
what it was. May 10th.
As Starbucks, for me, the only worry there is China exposure. But if they're not worried about it, then nor should I be. The one thing that nobody should be worried about is putting some money in your pocket. Because right there, it is a nice push for Meta, man. Meta's down to 209 right now, flat. This has been just bleeding this afternoon to the downside, and I'm not getting out. Like this would be, if I don't have this 50 out right there, which I do, then I think this is the out there. But like now, I think the same way. Like here, I'm wondering like, oh, if we don't break this 50, then it's going to look, I'm not sure about how it looks. Just for me, it's going to look bad that I didn't get out because I consider myself trading off support and resistance. So if we came right in there into some support and I didn't take it out, then I wouldn't be able to live with myself, because we took out 210. Again, I would be able to live with myself just fine, but we took some out there at 210 the first time because that was decent support, and then 209.50. So right now at 209, again, another level of possible support. So could take it out, but then if it does flush, then you have less shares on board. So let's wait to see if that does come into play. FRC, I'm not going to forget, it was 312. Yeah, exactly. So now it's 317 right now.
Under a minute.
Let's see what FRC does. I have to have the key ready, because if we break that, I don't have the stop order out. So if we break that 80, I'm just going to try to punch out and hopefully be able to get a decent fill.
So it should open in a matter of seconds. By the way, there was a Chill Vibes. I think it was
Yep.
Chill Vibes calling the NVIDIA. Was it you that called the NVIDIA short 270? That's a good one, man. I'll be on that once we get away from this FRC in a minute. And there was another name I'll get to, but this should be opening up in, I say this last time, it's now over 5 minutes. Last time it was like a 10, 15 second delay on the open. Okay, so maybe it's going to be 10 minutes. I don't know.
No, it's going to open.
Yeah, it should open. It should have already be open. It's been 5 minutes, so who knows? We'll give it a couple more seconds. Sometimes it is 10 minutes, and now it's been 5.5. What's going to happen is I'm going to.
Open.
I just typed NVIDIA in my stupid thing, and then I hit exit. There we go. So it is open back up. Doesn't even challenge that 580 or the $6 level. Oh my goodness, you can't even. Gimme. Now I want to play it off that last halt if I can get. I still have a piece from before, but I want to just wet the beak and start trying to work back into that 580 level. Because if it gets to 5, I think it can bounce, but it's got to get there first, right? There was that monster bid on 5 even. It's going into a down halt. I don't want to take anything out. So it's going into a down halt. Here's the level 2. That's how you know it's going into a halt. It has 15 seconds from the point at which it hits a band to either go up or do that. So that's what you saw. I really did want a better price to add back in, but you get what you can get because it's not going to be open for very long. Now we can talk about NVIDIA, which I was ready to go to. Look at that 270 short. This is what I was getting at for Chill Vibes. Shout out to you. Oops, I'm not on the correct. There we go. Congratulations! On that 270. I know FRC is exciting, but that's pretty solid there. I think it's a good level. I want to respect it. If we do bounce off 5, Pac W's lined up for that 11 bounce. That worked this morning. However, if you're in early, that's what happened. If you're in after FRC catches a bid, it's essentially free money. You just go long after the other one bounced. I was anticipating it the first time. I participated the second time, and that's where the win comes. So if we bounce off 5 even, I'd rather be long this. There's more security long Pac W. They're not going under. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. They're their deposits are looking better and they had a better quarter, all that kind of good stuff. It doesn't mean they're not going under. I should not say that. I can't tell you the future. If Micron breaks VWAP, I want to get some out under, try to hold for 60 even. That looks like it's flushing. BABA's in the money, but it's a Chinese ADR. It might not do anything for the rest of the day. And Disney. Never finished the thought on Disney. I want to get into this short just because of how it's trending, but you're at the low. So if it retests 97, it's worth a short off the 97 level for a quick little scalp trade, but the bigger level is 97.40. Can I show you here? There you go, 97.40. This is what I really want. So if it gets back up, breaks 97, I want to short into 97.40, previous support on the 15-minute. For now, the scalp off the even, that can work, but the better level is 40 cents up.
All right. So it looks like it's 320 right now. You know, like I said, we don't have a huge piece of that meta, but it did bounce off that 09. One thing that's not bouncing right now is Amazon. Like Amazon's right at this bottom again of 105. So this was the level that we absolutely, I said Amazon's still the #1 stock on the show. So, you know, and we only have one trade on it. So we absolutely destroyed this stock. And it's right at a level again that we could take this trade one more time. And I'm actually debating doing it. The problem is the futures right now are at looking almost identical to Amazon. That's 104.90. I think we will put a little bit more on. I mean, again, we've already taken $1, like we've already taken money on AMD. We already took $1. So although you Cling Daddy, we're talking about that 270 level, great level there. It's obviously a $300 name. So I think you can get a little more return on a Nvidia there from a dollar side of things. But AMD, we took $1 on that one. That was only an $80 name. But Amazon right now, I am going to try this down here near 105. If we can get something even better than that, we just put a new position on at 105.09 right now for Amazon. So again, you know, trying to stick with names that, like I said, the #1 stock here today, Amazon. So, you know, we'll stick with that and we'll see if it can make some moves. 104, 105, that right there is 104.90 is the bottom, and I'm going to respect that. I'm going to respect that there. I'm a Mario. I'm going to win. That's Wario, though. 104.90 right there. I'm going to watch that. So we go long right now. Well worth the risk, man. We're long at 09s. Like I want to get more, first of all. But if this comes back down to here, hopefully we'll risk 20 cents at most through all that. So let's see. We need to at least get that much of a win back in there, 105.30. So if that hits, great. But for right now, we'll wait for FRC to open up. I know Neil has it at 79. I have it at 55. So
I added, so my price is now 56.
Okay, good. So that's fine. So good. Added shares, perfect. So Neil and I almost at the same penny right now. Let's see where we open up. Right now, the spread is this. The tap never changes, apparently, for FRC since I've been watching it today. Like Neil said, maybe it's NASDAQ that's updating it now.
It's one of the two.
The next time NASDAQ holds, we'll have a look if there's ever a halt on NASDAQ. But right now, we'll see where this opens up. I want to bid 5. I just don't have a bid in there right now because we can get internalized here.
Shoot, I have a bid.
So you got to be careful on that, and then it's got to get fixed. So hopefully $5 comes in. If it does, man, I've got my bid ready to go. Like I just need to hit bid enter. So if we do get an 05 or so fill, $5 fill, hopefully we'll be able to get that for 50 cents. My first trade on FRC today hopefully can be that 50-cent winner. Let's see what happens right now on open. It should be any minute now.
And speaking of a stock that could be, maybe it's bottoming out. Look at Alphabet here. It's still trying to go. I know that's the bet, and we closed it, but it's only 0.3 to the downside. Oh, no, we did that for, we did do Google, right? Yeah, we did Google. But it's only 0.3 downside. Look at it hold the low. The market keeps making lows, and Google keeps holding 103.25. I know sometimes you force a long trade, but where did it turn around en masse this morning? 103.25 was the liquidity point. 102 was the low. FRC opens up. Did I get it? See, I had a bid. Oh, see, you were right in saying cancel the bid.
Yep.
Because I had it out there. Essentially, when we're in the halt and that can internally fill if someone
we did not get
puts an
that
order.
fill.
I ended up getting out there at 18s. I had a bid at 11, so I just hit bid enter. I got 18. Now it's going to flush. If it breaks $5, look up below. But there's still a bid on 5. Oh, you can't see it. Scroll. I can't really scroll to see it. Why is my scroll bar not working on here? Anyways, there was a bid at $5. We'll see as it comes down if there is one. I did take some out. I still have a piece. My re-entry point at that 550.
There's a big bid.
Yeah, it's a big bid. Why? Where is my scroll bar?
Come to my screen.
Come to his screen.
Oh, you have it now. There it is right there. So 8 million shares there on the
8.
bid. I'm out. We
Look
told
at
you
that
where
bounce.
we'd get out. So there it is. We are now out of FRC. We still have one piece, but hey, we'll go 1 for 1 on this name and then see what happens right now. Again, another bounce off $5 straight. Here's a halt to the upside. Take it out if you want. I'm not. Let's see what happens here. Here, they didn't even halt. Fake halt.
In your
Watch out
face.
for $5. If $5 breaks, this is going to be in. The only face that it's going to be in are people that are long, because if that $5 breaks,
I would not want to be long this.
then you are going to be roasted up on FRC right now. So I'm already out
Or
of
if you
piece.
trust your stop orders, I guess. But I don't trust the stops that much.
Oh no! Just watch out for it, because a lot of you
Yeah.
people, a lot of you traders at home, maybe don't have access to the level 2. So we just showed you there. There's 9 million shares at $5
bid.
for First Republic. So I'm just gonna. I mean, you could just stay on here. I'm gonna stay on this for a bit just to watch what happens there. There's my out right now. I guess, I don't know. I was gonna say
It's
like,
gonna halt up.
yeah, but then
gonna
don't
halt
I
up.
just want to get out then?
I'm holding it.
I mean, I want to hold it too. It's not halting at all because they're hitting the bid.
Yeah, they keep hitting
So
the
it
bid.
you can't. So just, we should be on our screen, Mahad. Yeah, let's just stay here for a minute. You can't. The only reason we're going to stay here is, see, there's a million shares. Did you guys just see that? There's a million right there at 25. So let's just stay here for a bit, and Neil can interrupt me whenever, it doesn't matter. But we're still both looking at the same thing. We want to see some of these levels get taken out, and when they do, then it should open up more floodgates. Like this 25 gets hit, you're going right down to 10. And then you'll see that O's again, and then we'll see. But see, they're not getting close to it, so we'll wait. There it is, nice little bump up. This is maybe now where it halts. No, okay. So we don't have halt bands.
Oh, that guy stepped
He moved
up.
up. So right there, yeah. So the guy stepped up there to 35. So he just needs to get hit. He or she doesn't. The algo, I guess. I don't know why we always say he, but that algo gets hit. Hit him. Hit
I
him.
covered.
I see. Did it again. Yeah, covering's probably. Nothing wrong with that at all. Let's just wait to see, where is he now? Gone. So there it is, 35, now hidden. You see how smart that was? If you put your shares there, then everyone sees it. But when you're sitting in the dark pool, that trader could be at 36 and getting all million shares, and nobody knows that because he's dark. So the fills are coming in right there. Let's see if it can hold out right now on FRC. But for me, we're short 55. I'm not getting out until it breaches 80. So you don't have to worry about that, but again, down to $5 could be a smart play by getting out. Neil's, well, you can see our positions.
I took half
Reload
out.
it.
I took half out when it bounced off 5. I took the other half out. I've been short 3 times, and I want to short it again, but I wanted to make its next move. I want to see something happen here. Either it breaks up or makes a challenge at that 5 level. You're kind of diddling, and if you hold 5, why not just get 60s into 580 again? It's crazy. Shout out to Ronnie Boy who got it again, but NVIDIA's testing 270 right now. It's not this isn't the only dog in town or horse in town. It's horse in town, right? It's not. FRC's not the only
It's
horse in
definitely
town.
dog, I think.
Is it dog?
I don't know. If I never heard of horse in
I
town.
don't know.
But
I have no idea. It's a saying. 270 here on NVIDIA. I wanted to challenge this, maybe even get some overfills here, but that's been a good short a couple of times, and shout out to anybody that got it. It was Kling Daddy that threw this one out in the chat. Meanwhile, I already reloaded on Micron. So basically, it's been giving 60s, 60s-ish into 70s, and then out at VWAP, and then try to rinse and repeat. This is now the 3rd time I'm taking it. A lot of times you play a level 3 times. The 3rd time is not always a charm. We'll see what happens, but it is the 3rd time I'm taking this one. Didn't just get any NVIDIA up there. I'm tight to that 270 level at this point, so I'm not really going to compromise on it. The market has not taken out the lows. NASDAQ's still green, by the way. 0.6 to the upside.
it's not going red, I don't think.
No, it doesn't feel like, look, it's been a weekday, but it hasn't felt like it's weak enough for the NASDAQ to get red. Obviously, the ES it's a totally different story. The ES is down 0.5%. That's a very different ball game. You have some of the healthcare names that got shellacked a little bit, and I mean, Disney's still at 96.80. After that story and all that flush, it's a 15-cent range on Disney. That's kind of a waste.
FRC coming back at 533 right now. Yeah, it's too bad. The Disney move was definitely missed. Could have many different breakouts right there. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to Tynus here. Best show in the world. I appreciate that. As long as you're talking about us, that makes me pretty happy. And then right there, oh, what's up? Hey, Ronnie Boy, you already did that, but we'll shout you out again. Great job, Ronnie Boy, on that one. Let's freaking go, man. This reminds me of the days of like AMC and all that, when you're going 5-1 to 538 on 5,000 shares. Ronnie, just question, like, did you do that? You did that in the options, I guess, I'm assuming, there, but if not,
There's
that's
lots
good,
of liquidity
man.
down there.
Lots of liquidity down there. No, it's not that. It's just 5,000 times $5. Nothing wrong with putting out 25 grand into the trade. I'm just saying, did you do that with options or was it straight equity? So that'd be great there right now. Please hit the like button. Yeah, I don't know why that got blocked, but maybe because you used the word like a bunch of times. What's up, Sam, as well, man? Thank you so much for supporting the show. And yeah, you guys are right. Let's hit that. Okay, Arsenal. Yeah, Arsenal. We'll talk about Arsenal after.
Guys
I got money.
You're still
I got
on
money
Arsenal
to make,
right
man.
now?
Unless you're gambling on Arsenal, not right now. We're not too worried about that. 577 right now. You should be trading, Sharif. Not watch Arsenal. Who cares about Arsenal? 600 right now to the 600 likes. So thank you. Let's get that over to 1,000. We'll see if we can rock and roll. Why would you hit the like button? I'll tell you why. Because your boy just put on another trade, and we talked about Amazon at 105. Well, I mean, we're long right now at 105.05, and there's the rally back in Amazon. So I don't know, man. I mean, we're gonna go. I guess hopefully Amazon can continue. Whether or not it is a winner at the end of the day, we'll take some more 16s right there. That's to be determined. But for right now, there it is, man. Hit the like button for all of us, man. But right now, we are barbecuing up the profits one more time. Bye-bye, Amazon. There it is right now. It's a 15-cent winner, and it's still rocking to the upside. $1.50 on Meta, 50 cents on Shopify. FRC were in the building as well right now, Amazon. But one person who's in the building and working real hard these days, it's Brendan Wickens at the big desk.
Hey guys, yeah, overall a small buy right now for the imbalance heading into the final 30 minutes here. I'll give you an update on crypto as we head into the 30 minutes of the equity session. Obviously a 24-hour market. Even Pepsi possibly jumping on board as far as Web3 is concerned. Exec Kate Brady talking about the possibility of regulation clarity and what that will do for the overall market when it comes to Web3 specifically. There's Bitcoin today. Nice move. We talked about it this morning, right through 30,000. We have pulled back, obviously, to 29,000, but still nicely positive on the day. Ethereum did eventually participate, almost got to 2,000 again, but also pulling back. So a bit of a chop fest overall on the daily chart. But nice numbers here, 5.7, 5.5, I should say, for Bitcoin. Green, though, top to bottom here, guys, as far as crypto is concerned so far today.
It's trying. It's trying. FRC just made another push to set upside. It looks like it's going to challenge that halt band. I just got a little teensy. I'm basically now the same price that I had before, which is kind of hilarious. But we're just going to give it to the same area. I don't like the even stop because I feel like it just wants to run it. It just wants to run those stops at like 580. So give it a little bit of space above it. I don't want to add to it. Oh, I just keystroked out. It's that new key, man.
Keystroking out might be fine at this point. I feel like it's going back to the upside here.
I'm just going to try to get back. No, but it's SSR, so I had to actually get it up.
I added to it.
So I'm back in.
Okay,
I
good.
keystroked out of it.
Yeah,
so I didn't mean to get out. I was placing my stop order while talking to you guys and talking about adjusting the stop, and I ended up keystroking out. But I just get back in wherever it happened to lie. That happened to be at 572, but that's it doesn't really matter where it is. So I'm going to get my order out a little bit more calmly this time.
It's nice when you keystroke and the stock kind of just stays there.
And then you're able to get right back in where you punched out. So it's kind of like overlapping on my triangles, because we use triangles here to indicate our positions. So now I'll put the stop out there. NVIDIA, I did get the NVIDIA fill, so I am short at 69.92. There you go. So not exactly 70. Keystrokes are not good. Other types can be good if you're into that kind of thing. But NVIDIA, that's a great short the first time. It just wadunked or did the over-under. Opportunity cost. I keep talking about this. So as I was... Okay, FRC better work, because as I was doing this on FRC, look at the fill, look what happened on NVIDIA. Breaks the 270, gives you the money fills, which is above 270 into previous resistance. That's where you want to be getting more, or that's where you want to be getting more, and now it's starting to come back into the downside. So, I mean, this one, we'll give it a spike because it's, the draft's tomorrow. We'll give it a spike. Hopefully Houston doesn't screw up tomorrow and take Levis at 2, but that's the rumors. But that was a money fill there if you got that 270 and above on NVIDIA. Instead, I went back over to FRC, which is on the New York, and holding at 560. So I'm going to start getting out 50, 40, 30, 20 because 20 is where it seemed to bounce last time, but I want to give it to that halt price at that 580. Good look, man. That's such a great call out, that NVIDIA, because quite frankly, I was looking at other names like MU. I was trying to get Disney. Let's cancel that because now it's already flushing again. But you guys shouted it out. I love that 270 level. NVIDIA is a good one. The market still testing lows as we speak.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So,
Oh, man,
yeah, I mean, a couple of good shout outs. Thank you so much for everybody shouting out your trades as well. And, you know, I'll give it right back to you guys, man. I mean, we shouted out this 47 short on Shopify. Huge trade, man. Down into the money now. Taking percentage points on this. So that's a good move there. Shopify trying to still make lower lows right now. Meta, again, kind of bounced off that 09. We talked about that we would forever be sort of like wondering about that 09, Phil, and yeah, so now I am. It's a head scratcher. We only have 10% left. We talked about that. So hopefully that does come into play one more time. That FRC is not really moving around, so that's kind of a nothing burger right now for me. Amazon, we've got out a half already for, honestly, 10 cents. Like, it hasn't like it's printed anything. Our best out there is 23s, which would be a, oh, we're long at 02. We were long at 05, remember? So about 20 cents to 18 cents was our best fill, but look where it went up to, right? So again, like, this is why I need like I need that. Are we working on animations, Fahad, or no? Or we're still getting that?
What, you're not happy with some of these?
No, I want my own high five there. I want to high five myself. Bang! I think that'll be hilarious to get that right there. So I'll high five everybody in the chat, and then I'll high five. I think that'd be hilarious to get that. Remember we talked about Barry Horowitz, where he tapped himself on the back. I think that was a hilarious angle. You probably remember that, Sharif. As
I like
Sharif
Rob
is
Van Dam
crying over here. I wonder if Arsenal must be down
like
more
this
than
one.
1-0.
RVD.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
the whole show is what it means. So right now, that would be cool too. Yeah, that RVD thing would be sick as well.
What's that guy up to? He's not still wrestling.
Maybe AEW he could be in.
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
maybe.
know, but
Yeah, he
AEW
could
is
be.
pretty sick. So the hammer. Yeah, we had me hammering. That was another good one as well. Shout out to everybody that does remember some of these.
Now it's starting to come back.
Okay, so here goes FRC right now. Like Neil just mentioned, I don't know. We finally broke 60. We are dancing around this 70 area. This is where I'm getting out, man. We did put another short on at 64, but we'd like to give this some more attention, but we've come down to $5 a couple times now, and there's 501, 510, something like that coming into play. So I really think that there's a good opportunity right down here to get another fill. So if we can get something around 520 or whatever, we've left FRC alone today. It'll be a positive stock for us. Even if it breaks this, it should still be positive, but I'm not sure about that. We'll see about 520. I'm going to put a bid right now at 520 in case we get that flush. We don't have to get out of it all, but we will get out of something. 520 down there, roughly a price. You can put it wherever you want, but I'm going to do that. Why? Because we showed you there's definitely 9 million at least shares down there at $5, plus dark pool, plus everything else. Now, when you're talking about 175 million shares today, 9 million is...
But it's short sell restricted. That's the key.
That's the other
like
key.
For it to break that 9 million share bid, somebody long has to hit that bid. It's a much different story than people wanting to hammer the short. Because if it breaks that level, a lot of people want the 5 short. It's just a matter of, we can't hit the 5 short if it goes down there. I mean, we can, after it breaks, you can try it, but then you risk, getting stopped at the bottom, like something like that. Like I had it this morning off of that low and it sucked. I had to get out at 550. So you can be short into the level like we're doing, but you can't really be taking that breakdown. There was something else just moving in Disney. I know Disney is getting just like, what the hell, Disney? I got to find a way into Disney. It's like, I know there's a distraction with FRC. I got into NVIDIA, that's okay, but Disney was a shot off that 97 level, and it almost doesn't want to pop here. Now we're just starting to break out. Where's the NASDAQ still? The ES is breaking bottoms. The NASDAQ is threatening that low, and if that happens, we could be kerplunked here. But Disney, it's a late move, man. It's a really late move for that news. I just feel like there's a little bit something else going on here. And the earnings aren't even soon. Like, you still have some time till the Disney earnings, and they're getting punked. Someone kept asking about Teladoc, and I looked it up just to have a look at TDoc. Not a heck of a lot happening. It's down 2%. It broke the 50 period today, but I didn't really see anything that's set up for a trade or any crazy excitement. Down 2% for Teladoc with the market trending like it is really not that bad. it's a stock taking me down 10% in an absolute heartbeat. Still a heavy short float on this one, so I'd watch out for that. Potentially, they do report coming up. We're back close to 270, which means reload time on NVIDIA if it wants to give it to me, which obviously it doesn't because it just rejected. So I only want shorts at or barely above 270, and then I'll get some bids out at 269 if it happens to get down there.
I'm going to take another, we'll wait for a couple more pennies higher, but I'm going to take some out more on Amazon right now. There's a buyer just showed up right there. That's not going to be that significant, but we'll take some 13s out right there. We're long at 02s. I just don't know if this is going to go. I don't know if this is going to go up any further right now, Amazon. So we'll take some more outs, man. We're taking pieces out every single time it rips to the upside right there. So let's go. Let's see. I mean, we still have 40% of this position, so hopefully it does come out. There it is. Thanks, Dan Emmons, right there. We did get that from Brendan as well. It's 12 million to buy on the buy side. So you guys can find that. And be a member of our chat. And that's the other point, is that you can't see things like that unless you are a member of our chat. So thanks to Dan for posting that again right now. Yeah, just watching out. We did get, I know you're in that NVIDIA, but look where we got out of AMD. We got out of AMD a while ago right there. So yeah, we're out of that. We could have got more on AMD, but AMD was a great short. Again, man, made dollars, not cents on that one. So that was a good one there for AMD. But what's going up? Amazon trying to go. FRC is close to me punching out. I'm going to punch out if we break 80. We're pretty close to doing that right now. Not much on this name, guys. It looks like I still will be positive even if it breaks 80 because now I can see the math.
Look at Bitcoin.
We're only 10 cents away. What is Bitcoin doing?
That. Come to my chart for a second. This is a 15-minute of Bitcoin. So we didn't hold on to 30,000 this morning. Remember that brief celebration? I think I even hit the congratulations this morning. We were briefly above 30,000. I don't want to look at what Coinbase is at because I'm sure I'll just throw up in my mouth because we probably should have been shorted all afternoon. But look at that roll. It's bouncing off support, by the way. But that bounce has been at 28.2. So let's see how far that one carries. Maybe that was that last little shove up that we just had. Yeah, because I just got NVIDIA again really quickly, above 270. So take the fill at, then take the fill above, and then rinse and repeat. But this is a bit stronger than it was a second ago. So I got 60s last time. I took 70s on that last out, so it's about 30 to 34 cents, 35 cents, something like that. And then we'll get some out in that 69 range. I feel like the more times you go to this well, you're getting higher lows. So this is a significantly higher low at this point. If it goes up there another time, I will not reload. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm going to look at Coinbase. I'm sure I know exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I knew this. I knew before I pulled this up.
Oh, when Bitcoin's doing
when Bitcoin does that, Coinbase has no chance. I mean, no chance. You know it's going down. It's yelling timber, all that good stuff. Where are we at here? 54. Please let us get a chance to. If Bitcoin doesn't hold that 28,000, you know we're going to see 50 bucks on Coinbase this week. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. It's just a matter of being there for that trade. I can't believe I missed out on this one. So I got NVIDIA. It's about 50 pennies in the money. FRC is not moving. Hate to tell you, it's not really doing anything. Disney's still getting flushed. Hold on to your shorts. I don't think they're busted just yet. You're right. Like FRC has found equilibrium. How about that? Like every time it pops up, a buyer steps in. It's not enough to push it up, but it's enough to hold steady where it is. So it feels like they're just gonna. Maybe the next flush needs to run the stops. Like it might just need to run 580 stops and then flush. That's what it feels like right now. Because everybody probably has a stop just above here. It'll go to like 6 or something, stop us all out, and then it's gonna flush to $5. Because day traders like us, it's 343. Like, how can we not have a stop at the top? You have to, because I'm not holding it into the aftermarket. So they might run our stops. If they do, and there's a short up at $6, I'd get out and try to get back in. Otherwise, I'm holding my NVIDIA. Oh, I still have Bed Bath & Beyond from earlier, so I'll yada, yada, yada. Shorted it at $14.50. It's now barcoding at 12.5. I should just be on this bid to get out, quite frankly.
So yeah, it looks like I think that's exactly what's going to happen on FRC. Everybody has the same out, so everyone's going to get punched out here at 580, and then probably goes to 6.
Too obvious.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
It's too obvious, but it's fine. I'm down for that. If it breaks it, it breaks it, and so be it for me. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't, but there it is. So we're out
Yeah,
of that
there it is.
right now, and that's fine. We'll end that trade, and let's see now. So yeah, actually looks like we're wrong. It didn't run it that much at all. I got the price I wanted. I actually got 83s there. So nice little out there for me on FRC. Let's see where it goes. Possibly
what'd
going
you
up to
get?
683s. My punch out was 81. So. That was a
Okay.
pretty good fill.
Oh, I know why.
Let's just wait to see where we go right there. I did not use the key that you used, I don't think. All right, so let's
bad.
just wait to see what happens here at 585 again. So that's where we're at right now. Possibly a move down, but I don't think it's a short until you break 560 now again. So nicely done up, man. We gave you that trade at $5. Some of you, including Ronnie Boy and many of you others out there, hopefully made bank. I mean, we showed you that there was that bid there. You
Monster
know,
bid.
not much to worry about. I quite frankly should have been long down there as well. So yeah, big mistake there by not getting out or not at least attempting to go long at $5. And there it is, a huge move to the upside, honestly. I mean, you might not think it, I mean, it's not huge in the grand scheme of things here when you're looking at FRC,
15%.
but right, if you go from 5 to 6, which is what we're doing right now, and that's 20, and that's what you're going. So it is a big move up from that bottom. And again, you're taking 5,000 shares, 1,000 shares, something, you know.
Nothing has moved that much outside of this stock.
Made yourself a nice little, every day I think FRC's probably,
It's
or some of
easily.
these other ones, man. Mara today still up. Mara up 7% still, which is strange on that Bitcoin move.
Really?
And yeah, Microsoft 296 right now.
Mara's up even after that pullback?
Yep,
Okay.
7%.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, it's, you know what? It must have. Oh, yeah, that's right, because it gapped. Okay, it gapped up. It's at the low of the day,
Yeah,
but
it's
it gapped
tanking
up.
back in.
Okay, that was my confusion there. That's why, because obviously it's at the low of the day. You
Yeah,
guys can
yeah,
see
yeah.
that. But yeah, crazy move there on FRC. What I was gonna, I lost my train of thought. We have 5 minutes till the imbalances. Is what I was gonna say. I don't anticipate myself getting into anything. With 4 minutes to go, I've got the Nvidia short. It's working at this point.
Water.
When you yawn, and now I'm going to be fighting a yawn. I feel a little bit tired myself, but I don't know. I feel like we this midday, it gives you energy. Stocks like FRC definitely give you a bit of a second kick there and some energy. Bed Bath & Beyond will be delisted on the 3rd of May. Did they give a date for that? I know they got the delist. I just read that in the chat. I know we got the notice that they got the delist notice. I don't recall seeing a date on that, but that's certainly possible. So just to show you, I got the bid on Nvidia. Congratulations! In front of 269, but that's for Kling Daddy in the chat. You know, I held Intel all along, but then Nvidia you could have had Nvidia off 73. Nvidia off 72 in the afternoon, and then 270 here underneath VWAP. This is the 3rd time. It's obviously a heck of a lot better the first two because you got under 269. Now I just want to hold into the imbalances. Trailing stop, then we'll see the imbalances. D Loaf's asking about Roblox. We can go over other stocks. I don't see myself adding or doing anything else. Wow, the trend is your friend, man. Ariel's down. Look how perfect it almost follows it too. Like that's just.
Oh, Roblox.
Our graphic is just basically telling you what's going on with Roblox. 5%. This is breaking down multiple times here. Where's that support level from back at the beginning of the year? Support was at like 32. We opened up the beginning of the year supporting $32. Well, not me personally, but you know what I mean when I say we. Like the stock supporting 32. I think that could be your next leg down. There's so many names that look like this that have made some stair steps. It's an up day overall, but it's just been a sell all day. And Coinbase, it's about to break that 54. I can't short the lows. I'm going to hold on to what we have here. And FRC, it did it. You knew it was going to do this. It ran the stops, and it's right back down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure at 63. I took the short again.
Yeah.
Before we go to Brendan, just quickly here, 210.20. I'm going to get out of Meta, so I'm going to give this a little bit of room back up to the upside right now as we head into earnings for Meta. So let's just see if it wants to go, man. You know, we almost got stopped out. Here it is, flushing back down. We did take a reload at FRC as well. So what's up, Brendo?
Just double checking on this BBBY note, guys. It actually says the opening of business as of May 3rd. So maybe a deletion May 2nd, possibly for Bed Bath & Beyond. So opening of business May 3rd, correct there.
Yep. Okay, good.
Okay.
So that was right. So thank you to whoever that was there in the chat for that note, and thanks, Brendan, for double checking it. So your last chance to get out of those shares, although they should go over to the pink sheets.
In
but
theory, yeah.
The other part is like it's so low right now that
It's at 12 cents.
yeah, like you almost Well, again, we don't really give financial advice here, but like for me, it's so low
What else are you
that
gonna do?
sometimes you can get huge spikes up, right? Like just an example, the last one that went over there, what time is it? Okay, so we only have 1 minute, so let's just do this real quickly if I can, SIVBQ. So this is just the most recent name out of a high profile that went over to the pink sheets. So the first day was a disaster. You know, you had ranges of 70 down to O, basically. I don't think we went to O's, but either way, you know, 30, 40 cents. Then on day 2, you mooned back. So like, you know, if you got out panicking on the very first day that it listed down there, then let's just say that you're out somewhere between 55 and 40, you know, mind some of those wicks. Then the very next day you had some bump ups, right? And then following that as well, now you're right back in there. So just for a little bit of reference there, as we only have 30 seconds. So I would say Bed Bath & Beyond being as low as it is, you know, do yourself a favor and figure out what you're going to do before May 3rd.
The first time Mullen bounced off 20 cents, remember that how great that was? I mean, the second, third time, okay, it's, you know, it's probably not worth going to that well multiple times, but we're going to get the imbalances. I got them up. I know you're going to have them up as well. So it was nothing was the intended, it was the indicated early look, 12 million to buy. That's absolutely nothing. We're going to get it in a couple of seconds. Load.
Meta
There.
downside, but not really doing
XO,
much.
yeah, this isn't that big. Pinterest, 2 days in a row, 800,000 sell.
Amazon
XOM,
down.
1 million. Visa is 700,000, 800,000. Not really. Intel just showed up 1.5 million on Intel. That was late. Bed Bath & Beyond, 10 million. It's done 260 million shares.
Wow.
But that's not nothing. I just got out of the last of my shares. It's kind of stupid. But do a pop. Do any pop on Bed Bath & Beyond, and I will take a short on this just to give it a chance. I mean, there's not too much else happening here, but yeah, if it pops anywhere back into this, I'll call it a supply zone. I'll try to take it, maybe even get something at 12 if it breaks. I don't know how far it can move. That's not a gigantic imbalance. It's done 260 million. So chasing it blindly when the imbalance is only 10 million shares, I don't know about that because, quite frankly, on the bid, it's got 500,000 shares on the bid right now. And that's just the lit bid. Like, how many people are in the auction if there's 500,000 on the bid here? So the auction's probably even bigger, but it is starting to come down Bed Bath & Beyond.
All right, we'll Barry Horowitz ourselves again here and look at Shopify. I mean, there it is. That's about, like, I mean, I hope some of you had that. We just got out right now. Shopify with an absolutely destructive move to the downside. We actually tweeted this out when we got it. So huge move down for Shopify. So there it is right there. Cash it out. We are now out of that name. And again, right up the leaderboard goes Shopify right there today. So that was good. Meta not doing much. FRC still waiting for 80s. I was hoping that maybe FRC would have came up with something on the imbalances, but it hasn't really done anything.
If you ever see that as a sell imbalance, game over.
Yeah, well, that's
Game
the thing.
over.
I was thinking, I mean, it might be a sell imbalance. I didn't even look
Actually,
for
I
it. The
didn't
minute
check.
it wasn't near the top, I didn't really care about
Should've
it. So
looked.
I don't, it's definitely, it's not, if it's there, it's not having
It's probably
a
small.
effect on the stock. We are almost out of our Amazon, but that's all good because we just got some out at 105. The minute it dipped down like that, we are just like, nah, we'll get out. So we only have 20% left of Amazon. We got some out at 105 flat right there. So that's a 2-cent hit, matching with our 15, 20-cent winners there. So hopefully we can hold out in the last 20%, but Amazon was a sell on here somewhere. There it is right there, 400,000 shares to sell. So you see what that did, and here's what the imbalance locator can do for you. There's 350, we're up right there. We were cruising, right? And then all of a sudden the number comes, and then there's a downside move. I am absolutely exhausted. 104.87 right there coming through. Again, like I was saying on the Midday show, I had my brother-in-law and his family over yesterday, so that was fun. Tesla. Wow, Tesla sell as well. That's a decent number on the sell for Tesla. There it is making, is this the day's low for Tesla? Yes, it is according to this chart
What
right now.
isn't at the day's low?
Or a couple things aren't. But right there, Meta, right there not Meta, Tesla at right now 153. So watch out for that level. It's been a pretty bad day for Tesla there. We just got stopped out on something. Amazon, our FRC's holding out. Amazon finally breaks that level, but whatever, man. Amazon, the #1 stock for me today, followed by Google, then followed by AMD, Microsoft is in there, AMD, Shopify anyways. They're all right there. I'm pretty proud of this Shopify trade.
Yeah, we had about a couple of minutes till 3:55. Oh, by the way, FRC was 150,000 to sell. It doesn't matter. Like it would have to be millions and millions for the imbalance to matter in FRC. Doesn't mean that it can't happen, but it is getting pretty ugly in here. I've trailed out NVIDIA. It got to 69. And look, at this point, it's either we flush, break some lows, and we can get the bottom, or I just get out in the same consolidation where it is right now. Coinbase is just absolutely tanking. We got Meta at 405, so we'll see how that one goes. And I feel like we're a broken record when we say this, but I don't know about trading. You've seen what's happened on the earnings, actually trading at aftermarket. Now, we're day traders. We're flat at 4 o'clock. We could technically execute after we have to, like, servers go off at 4:15. We don't like to do it because the risk is insane. In terms of, like, the actual value of a move that can happen, like, Meta's high is 214, and right now the bottom's 209. I fully expect that you will have at least 2 shakeouts of that order of magnitude, and that's only $5. If you can stomach that, fair enough. More power to you. I think that's not worth the risk because you never want one trade. Forget about ending your day or week, ending your career. I'm not making this up. I have seen a liquidity event end the career of a trader that had been trading for like half a decade. And it was one trade on an economic number with low liquidity, and that was pretty much it. You don't want that to be you, so I stay. You guys can do whatever you want to do, obviously. Yeah, I might get trailed out of this NVIDIA. Market's starting to bounce here. I'm out. Thank you guys for that one. It was a good one. The market has been falling, but catching a bit of a bid here. The NASDAQ has been determined to hold green, and it's doing a job right now.
Here goes Meta upside as well. Meta's starting to go again one more time right now. Miss Katrina's right behind us, so we're not going to have a problem ringing the bell here today. We only have 4 minutes to go on that one.
Still haven't eaten
Meta 209.50 right there on Meta. We'll see what happens at the end. I don't want to hold this obviously into earnings, so if it does break this 210, then we're going to get out of Meta. Amazon dancing around and not much else happening, man. FRC, if you want to take a quick look at that, 5-6. It's
just sideways.
yeah, you know what? I mean,
Google's going to get green.
You have, we've got Google green. We bet Google green. Right there, 570 coming into play right there. You see there's 6 million shares right there. So, you know what? Maybe a 570 break on FRC will get us out of that. But Shopify's gone. We talked about that. Meta, we have that as well. And here goes FRC trying to break through 570 right now. Yeah, we probably should have kept FRC on. Put FRC back on the screen. Put my screen on. There it is right there. 6 million, 7 million shares. I'm just going to put this stop. If we do break 570, then let's just get out of that one. And that's that. So if you're wondering why we're holding out on that, that is why. All right, earnings time. Thank you, Mahad, for that. Yeah, lots of names, man. Roku's going to be probably the biggest mover out of all of these, to be honest with you.
Percentage-wise, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see Meta, obviously. Teladoc could be another one. Teladoc could maybe be the biggest mover. So I'd put Roku and Teladoc as for the percentages. And then tomorrow morning, one that's definitely not going to be one is going to be AbbVie, Lilly, Merck. Those ones should just come probably in line as well. Southwest and American. I didn't even notice that this morning.
Oh, my goodness.
Bristol Myers. This is like a big,
you know
sort
what?
of a Dow day kind of thing there with some of these pharma names. Caterpillar, Honeywell. These are like all blue chips, right?
I would usually trade travel names on earnings, but with that board, I just don't see any way to be able to work in focusing on Southwest or American Airlines.
Oh yeah,
you got to pick other poisons. Usually I like those. I'm watching some Mobileye though, because they're down 4% today. They had the what they do with IPOs, the lockup expiration recently. So Mobileye's been a beast and just trending to the upside. I've been waiting for a break of trend in my long term to pick this one up because I think the valuation's still a little bit pricey. But yeah, it's starting to pull back in here. The only time I will trade this as a day trader might be tomorrow on earnings. But that's been so strong, this trend. If it gets broken, look at it ride the 50. If that gets broken, the opportunity on the short is pretty good. I'm looking for a place to dollar cost average to, I'm not going to lie, if we ever end up getting it. Alphabet, it is going to close green. That Bed Bath & Beyond sell imbalance, by the way, just to go back to that one, they're going under. You guys know it. It ended up tanking another half cent. So you could have taken the short. You made yourself like 3-4% there, but not a gigantic imbalance overall. It's still there for 6 million. So it did work if you grabbed it. It's also short sell restricted, so you couldn't have hit the bid. That's why I'm not in it, because quite frankly, you had to get a deep print. It was only dark pools that were getting filled, so there really wasn't much for trade there on Bed Bath & Beyond, despite that large imbalance you saw.
All right, not much happening, man. I mean, FRC is going to get this level taken out. It's going to get chewed away. But this is the kind of stuff that, like, you'd be short all day, every day against that level. But into the close, I mean, there's nothing even really happening. The only thing is, maybe, you know what? I'm going to put a bid on FRC right now. What just happened? Nothing. Okay, I'm going to put a bid on here on FRC.
You could auction it.
In case it, yeah, I could auction it.
Because it was a sell and bounce, right?
I don't know. I don't think I have my auction key set up properly.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there it is. We'll see if we can get this taken out right now on this level of 570. I might just punch this out. Looks like it's going to go. I have a 571 bid coming through. I thought maybe we'd get a flush back into the. What I was saying is I have a bid in the 50s in case this guy markets it down at the end. But it's not really looking like it wants to do too much there. I got to get out of this one. I'm just going to punch out, cancel all these stops, and punch out because we are getting ready into the close. So unfortunately, I'll have to take a 69 right there. And then on this meta as well, again, we can't hold into the close, but you know what, man? Meta be damned. That's a monster winner right there for me on meta. So yeah, good job there. As there goes meta, flushing down a little bit. We got a great fill. Happy with that. We almost took 209. I'll settle for 209.30. All right, over to Cat with only 5 left.
In 4, 3, 2, and ring it.
There we go.
Again? Oh, no. Can we, like, seriously, we can't get a new mallet? Is it that hard for us to...
I've talked about that mallet
dollar
over
store
and over and over again.
Dollar store. Or maybe Randy could...
I mean, we literally have, like, glue
Randy
for
could
wood glue.
They have a whole toolbox over there. You know what?
Randy's too busy every day. Remember we talked about that? Okay, guys. Honestly, man, no negative names today. It's been a great show, great day. Let's go over to Brendo.
It holds on to positive territory, guys. I mean, the NASDAQ, of course, 0.6, better part of 0.6 there to the upside when all is said and done. Not so much for these two, the Dow and the S&P, both in the red. As we saw, it was all about tech all day long. But a little bit of a different story as far as crude oil. Yeah, it took a nosedive late in the day there, along with Bitcoin and Ethereum back to flat as we end the equity session.
So Google ended up barely red, but it really held that low today. The market kept going lower and lower and lower, and the same bid just kept holding on Alphabet. That should be interesting. We'll see what happens with Alphabet, obviously. Not Alphabet, Meta in a few minutes, but nothing just yet. Obviously, we're not waiting till it's 4:05, so anybody that's getting into this and trading it right now on this volume that I'm seeing is playing with fire, like the person that's just sitting there on the offer for 16,000 shares at 210. Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, they could be long. They want to get out.
No, they could be long cover. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you know what? And us could also be, what gateway is it? I don't even know what gateway
it's Arca.
Arca, yeah, so it's a live order.
It's legit.
Okay, so yeah, it's what a great day. Thanks to everybody today for watching us. If anything happens in the next 20 seconds, we'll be here for it. But it's going to be big earnings, man. We saw the whole board. They could just come flying out here at any moment. So pay attention to your stocks. If you're trading in the aftermarket, you know, try to maybe go a little less shares there. We have no idea where these things are going to wind up. So it's 4:02 right now. Thank you to everybody for watching, man. Thanks, Fahad today. Thank you so much to Sharif as well. Thanks to Max for coming through one more time. Brendan, everybody else going through right now. So, all right, man. Good job, Brendan. Obviously, nothing's hitting that I can see.
No.
Okay,
we almost faded to black there, but it's fine. We can fade to black
at any point. So, all right, I guess that means Fahad wants to get out of here. So let's wrap this up. Thank you to everybody for watching again today. Let's go, man. Tomorrow's going to be another exciting day. Make sure you grab our watches on tradertv.live for all of the important earnings announcements tomorrow. But for everybody here, man, that's Neil, Brendan, I'm Sean, and we're Trader TV Live, and we're back tomorrow at 8:30. May all your earnings be winners. Ciao.